It's a new year, y'all. And for me, I've never been one to do resolutions. I do solutions. And for the past almost 2 years, I've been drinking AG1 every single day, thanks to my brother, Dr. Andrew Huberman, who turned me on to this incredible product. Every day, every morning, no exceptions. Just one scoop and a glass of water. They also make packs that you can travel with. That's been very, very helpful for me as a active touring person. Having these packets with me all around the world has been really, really helpful. So if you're a musician or somebody that is always on the go, the travel packs are incredible. AG1 delivers my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, and pre and probiotics. It's very powerful, it's very healthy, and it's really simple, man. Healthy aging shouldn't feel complicated. The thought of taking multiple supplements and all these types of vitamins and stuff and powders, it's truly exhausting for me. I've never been one to take a lot of multivitamins anyway throughout my whole life. I always prided myself in just eating vegetables and eating all the stuff I need naturally, not in a pill form. So this is incredible. It covers my nutrient gaps. It supports my mental and physical health. AG1 is hassle-free, 60 seconds every morning. It's the high-quality ingredients of pre and probiotics, adaptogens and antioxidants, and whole food sourced nutrients. I drink it every single day. Every batch of AG1s goes through rigorous testing processes, and their ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrient density. If there's one product I can suggest to you guys, is the AG1s, man. This has been a life changer for me. So go to ag1.com/OLLC and you can get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3 and K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. With AG1, I know I'm getting essential brain, gut, and immune health support, vitamins, probiotics, and nutrients for the day, and it's helped my mental and physical. So if there's one thing I can recommend to you guys, it's AG1s. It's my nutritional insurance. I pride myself as almost being 54 years old, not going to the doctor all the time. Knock on wood. I've been healthy my whole life and try to strive to be a healthy person, stay young, stay full of energy, and still do the things I love that I did as a kid. That's why I still skateboard, play music, exercise. So start the year off right. AG1, ag1.com/OLLC. Yo, Liquid Death, thank you so much for hydrating all my guests, taking care of me and my family and my friends. Love your water, love your brand, love what you stand for, love what you give back to the community. If you want to learn more about Liquid Death and how it started, listen to episode 115 with the co-founder, owner, and creator of Liquid Death, Mike Cesario. Just a punk rock skateboarding kid from Delaware with a dream. It's an incredible story, incredible journey. So if you go liquiddeath.com/Toby, you get free shipping on any items you order from liquiddeath.com. If you want to just get Liquid Death water, go to amazon.com. But for the merchandise and other cool items, exclusive items, go to liquiddeath.com/Toby and get free shipping. Thank you so much, Liquid Death. Death to plastic, murder your thirst. Stay hydrated. You know H2O saves lives. Welcome to the One Life One Chance podcast. I'm your host, Toby Morse. In my kitchen. They've been hanging on my wall for about 20 years, and now they're in my house. Dan Marsala, thank you for being here.
That's me. Hi.
Adam Russell, thank you for being here.
Hello there.
This is a story of the year. 2 of the stories of the year.
The most important ones.
The most important.
Yeah.
You know.
Just want to
Thank
be
you
real.
guys for being here. This is awesome.
So
Thanks for having us.
you've been staring at us on your wall. You're a big fan.
Yeah, big fan.
Big
Big
fan.
fan of that record, man. That was, we can just get right into that.
Yeah, I
but,
mean, yeah.
well, now it's like, that's a gold plaque, but now it's platinum.
That's right.
Mm.
Congrats on that.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's pretty crazy. 20 years, 20-year anniversary. Well, last year technically.
Yeah.
But yeah, finally hit that 1 million mark. It was stuck there for a long time.
It really was?
Because with streaming and everything,
Yeah.
it kind of
yeah.
stopped selling for a long time. It was like 900 and something thousand, and then
Did the first half in like a year and a half, and it took another 19 years to do the remaining 500.
Better
Yeah.
late than never. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So
Slow drip.
streaming affects all that, obviously. 'Cause
yeah,
people buying
once
stuff,
they started
Yeah.
counting all that, it jumped over pretty quick. But yeah, we already said to you, we need to get you your updated platinum plaque for your wall, and we will.
Thank you.
We
I'm
will.
excited. I want to figure out how that day went. I remember just getting hit up by Mr. Feldy about coming to sing on a band's record, and I think it was an apartment in Marina Del Rey or somewhere.
It was like a little house, yeah.
Little house, and I sang in a bathroom maybe, or a little small room, and met you guys, right?
Yeah. You didn't know
Super
us at
random.
all. We were
Yeah.
like, dude, you could get a hold of Toby? That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
It was such a random, that was so cool, yeah.
Thanks
then-
for doing that.
Of course.
That's amazing.
Falling down.
Yep.
And then later on, Capo was on it after me. Was he on there first?
Yeah, after, I think, because Feldman was friends with him too, and
Yeah.
we were like, well, yeah, we'll just keep getting people on it. That'd be great.
Yeah. Like
That was cool.
the one punk rock song, like truly punk rock song we just went like through the roof with the punk rock
Yeah,
cred. You know what I mean?
Feldy sang on it too, and it was just a big fun collabo.
And I got to say H2O Go on there. That was cool.
Yeah.
And so you guys were all there that day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like one of the
Damn.
last days of recording for Page Avenue. Our
I wonder
first
how
record.
Feldy got my phone number.
Aren't you on the don't call list? Like how did
No, but I just wondered. That's
Yeah,
he
I
must have
don't
got
think
from somebody.
I don't think you guys knew each other very well either.
No, we didn't.
Because
I knew who he was, knew the band and stuff,
Yeah,
but
yeah, it was so weird.
yeah.
Very cool. We were just like, "Hi, will you sing on our record?"
And then the record came out, and it blew up. I was like, holy crap, I sang on that record.
You're
It's
like, oh,
so
shit.
cool.
Yeah.
And then like fast forward to sing with you guys maybe a year ago or less.
House of Blues.
Yeah, that was fun, man. That was super fun.
Yep. Thanks for
That was
doing that.
That was
too.
a moment. It only took 20 years to happen.
I know. Yeah, we were like, "Have we ever done that before?" I don't think we ever did it.
No,
We did that Hazen
cool.
Street tour in like 2004,
That's
where you guys
right.
opened for us, but I don't know if you sang it on that
You
tour.
would
or
come
not.
out and
You might have.
just yell H2O Go
Probably.
every once in a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Because sometimes I forget my own words, my own songs. I have to learn somebody else's.
Yeah.
It's super hard.
I know.
But that's fucked. I just realized that Hazen Street's first tour was with Story of the Year.
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
House of Blues in Florida was the first show.
Probably. Yeah.
That was so cool. I remember that. Thank you for
Okay.
that.
No problem.
We had John Reese as our manager.
Yep.
Yeah.
Was he your
yeah.
manager
Yeah,
too?
he was our manager at that point.
John Reese is a legend, bro.
Yep.
Wow,
Love
man.
him.
Yeah.
Scary human. We do talk about like getting our record advance from Epic Records all in cash because some of the guys in my band didn't want their name on any books.
Oh,
So
nice.
we're counting up all this money in his backyard, which has never probably been done on a major label, dude.
Oh my God.
Somehow homie got his cash.
That's amazing.
Wild dude. Love him.
He
Haven't seen him in years.
Yeah, we
he's,
haven't seen
he's
him
still
in a while.
around.
We're technically still with him. He's the owner on the management company that we're with still. So, but our main guy is a guy
Freeze
named Sean.
Management?
It's
No.
called Anger Management now, but he's of course.
It's a little on the nose.
But
you know?
our guy Sean is our main guy. But yeah, Reese is still part of it.
He was part of like something with Limp Bizkit too, I think. I remember seeing a plaque at his house.
Probably
Something
He
like one of the
was-
first records.
He was in so many.
Guns N' Roses.
Yep.
Crew.
Yep.
He started as like he was like a security dude. Then he was a tour manager. He was Guns N' Roses like head of security before he became a tour manager. So you can watch those old Use Your Illusion tapes, whatever DVDs. And there's a great shot where Slash runs down the barricade out the middle of the split thing, and Reese with a mullet and Zuba's pants is just running behind him. It's legendary,
Are
dude.
you serious?
Yep. It's pretty great.
100%.
He has like a missing thumb or nose or something's bitten off his
Yeah.
body or something. I forgot.
Yeah.
That's a crazy.
Somebody
story
bit
too.
his finger off or something.
And then he had his partner who was that UFC guy.
Yeah, Scott
Oh.
Harmon.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
He was part of our management too.
Muay Thai kickboxer. So this,
he's legit.
yeah, there's a great clip on him, like from like the early days of YouTube, like a knockout from one of his last fights, and he's kind of back and forth with the dude. They're trading kicks, and then there's just one like split, like it's from a movie, like a split second, wham, right in the side of the dude's head with his shin, and the dude deflates straight to
Damn.
I'm surprised he's not dead.
Wow. Is he still in the management game?
I have no idea.
I haven't seen him in a long time. I have no idea. Well, Reese is not really. He's doing other stuff now. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
all doing good.
back to Story of the Year.
Yeah.
So
We could reminisce about them forever.
was that was the tour for this record, the one we did with Hazen Street, right? Was that like,
yeah, it was still on the first record. Yeah, Page
Yeah.
Avenue.
Are you sure it wasn't?
Yeah, it was 2004, so it was before
Okay.
the second record.
Word.
that was
I think-
a great opportunity. Thank you for that. Good crowd.
You're
Yeah.
welcome. We were all big fans of all of your guys' band and bands in Hazen
Bands.
Street. So bands, your guys' band.
All in one band.
He was
One
a band.
So you guys are both from St. Louis?
Yeah,
Both.
everybody from Story of the Year grew up right in the same area in St. Louis, right
Morse
off
County.
right off a street called Page Avenue, which is why we named our first record Page Avenue.
Amazing.
I lived on Page
Yep.
in just a nasty house with my nasty ex-girlfriend.
Really?
But
So was Yellow Card from Ocean Avenue? I hope so.
It's like
Near-
a weird thing.
You're
I think
repping your street, but if you're from your street.
yeah,
Yeah.
they have a different story. I don't know the exact story. It's something about Ocean Boulevard and they
Oh,
like
yeah.
or some
Oh.
shit, right?
it's like No Doubt with Beacon Street, Beacon Avenue.
Yeah, I think, but
Mm.
similar.
So Page
shit.
Avenue is legit. What's it like
But
there
it-
now, I wonder?
I still live pretty close to it. I'm like in
Really?
the same neighborhood. Yeah.
Damn. Don't
it's
forget
fine.
your roots. I
It
love
was always it was always like middle
Working
class.
class.
It was
kinda,
kind of
yeah.
ghetto,
It's probably
kind of
changed like,
nice.
drastically since now.
It's cool.
It's
still,
a long street,
still a
though.
good spot.
It's like, one of the few major streets that runs like east to west, almost the entire like metro area,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So how was it for you? Let's get before you guys met. Like, how was it for you growing up? I mean, you have siblings?
I have one, Dan's an only child, lead singer, go figure.
I I act like I am.
I'm so special, dude.
The rest of us, one or two siblings. But yeah, not like 5 or 6 or whatever Max showed us earlier with the.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So how was it growing up for you? Like, what was your first exposure to punk rock and stuff for you?
I was like I was like a metal kid.
Yeah.
That was my the first music that was mine was Metallica, Guns N' Roses, whatever was mainstream in the early 90s. But I was raised on classic rock, and I discovered punk rock like via hardcore, which was metal adjacent at that point.
Yep,
It was Earth
totally.
Crisis, VOD, stuff like that. And then didn't discover like real genuine punk until Dan. Just like kind of being together, whatever was on in his car. Like I heard H2O for the first time in his Thunderbird probably, or his
Wow.
Topaz, whatever.
Thank you, Dan.
You're welcome.
Um,
I'm spreading the word.
Thank you.
I was doing my job.
Yeah.
how did you guys meet?
Playing shows, different bands.
Yeah, we
Okay.
both were in local bands in the 90s.
Yeah.
And just like two of the bands that kind of were doing the best was my band called Big Blue Monkey at the time.
Big Blue Monkey.
I was
yeah.
a drummer at the time, and then I started singing. Well, I always was a guitar player and singer, but then I played drums for a little while because we didn't have a drummer. I was like, oh, fucking do
You're
it.
a good
whatever.
drummer?
I was a pretty good drummer, yeah.
Sick.
This dude rips.
Okay.
Like don't let him bullshit you. Like if he was in the physically in shape from playing drums and had the whatever
The chops.
the chops, yeah, you could play anybody under the table. This dude can play
Wow.
everything.
When's the last time you played?
It's been a couple years probably, but
You have a drum kit at
you
your
don't really
house?
lose it. It's like
Yeah.
it's like it would take me a little while to get it back, but yeah, I play a little bit of everything, and it helps me be a better singer. Or
You play guitar
having
too?
timing stuff, yeah.
That's cool. Self-taught everything?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because I
Church.
grew up
Church.
Well,
Little bit.
yeah, I was a Catholic school kid, so yeah, I
Same.
started playing guitar and like at school, and then / the music teacher was she would play at church, and so she would let me and my little metal friends, like 80s metal kids with like bright green fucking shitty BC Rich guitars or whatever, playing
Played at school?
playing "And He Will Raise You Up on Eagle's Wings." Had to get that in there because in case
Wow.
anybody knows Eagle's Wings.
That shit's a bop.
But
Is that such a religious song?
yeah, it's just fucking. It's like the Catholic.
Wow.
The Catholic.
I didn't have that song when I was in school.
Paradise City or something. I don't know. I was trying to think of a big song.
Do the catechism and all that stuff. And is that still around?
I don't know.
'Cause I was an altar boy, catechism. My mom made us go to church like crazy.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I never did the altar boy shit. I was
Yeah.
scared. I was like, that priest looks creepy, man. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm into that.
I'm very lucky, man.
I
Very lucky.
I gave up after about 8th grade. I was like, Mom, can I just go to public school with my friends?
Oh, really?
Yeah, but
She was cool about it?
yeah, they were. My family wasn't real religious. It was just like, you'll get a better education here. One of those things. And I mean, maybe I did. I didn't learn about science until I was way older.
What about your parents? Were they strict, Adam?
No, I mean my dad was strict in the sense that he was like, he came from a working class family. His dad
Yeah.
had 2-3 jobs. Railroad guy, kind of contractor kind of dude. So it was about like work hard, have a plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he didn't take the band shit seriously until it was clear to him, like undeniable, that I was doing it with a plan and with like a future in mind.
Yeah.
Because my mom, she was a hippie and like, ADHD, just like, yeah, play guitar or whatever, just like all over the place. And
Yeah.
he was like, no, here's what you do with your life. You line this shit up and, have, you come out of what you grew up with, which is exactly what he did. So when it became clear that this fucking around with music thing was real, he was fully behind it,
Yeah.
So
How many records did that take? How many things did that take? Tours or?
just honestly, like seeing the first few shows that we played and
That's
seeing
cool.
like a full venue at a local show, he was like, oh, okay, this is real.
Yeah.
I made him a bet, like an actual bet. I said, I'll bet you $100. I was 16, 17 years old. I said, by the time I'm 18, I'll be playing a show in a venue in St. Louis. And he's like, all right, I'll take that bet.
Wow.
And then he came to my first show in my shitty new metal band. And, that was the first little spark of, okay, maybe this kid's not just fucking around.
Yeah.
And then it all came together. And when I met these dudes through playing shows and then joined that band, I remember Ryan, our guitar player, talks about this conversation that he had with my dad at the bar, just like thanking him. Like, my son's been working on this forever. I never took it seriously. And you guys are really doing something special.
That's amazing, man.
So
That's so cool. So in high school, you knew you wanted to play music.
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. When did you start playing?
I didn't get a guitar until I I had just turned 16. It was Christmas 95. But I'd always like dicked around with drums, and there was a piano in my house, and I had like rhythm in my brain, but I didn't like start to learn music for real until I was like halfway through high school.
Yeah. And did you like high school?
Dude, yeah. Funny enough, like I went to an all boys like college prep, like private school, because we were in kind of a shitty school district, so public school wasn't really a viable thing for me.
So with uniforms?
No, but like, dress code, that kind of shit. But it was the 90s, so like whatever like corn Adidas looking ass collared shirt I could find, I'd put on, But all my friends that I made immediately were other musicians or music fans. Like my best friend from high school, I met day one, freshman year, art class, and he knew someone I knew from grade school, and he looked at me and he's like, "You Adam? Cool. Yeah, do you know so-and-so? Cool. Hey, you like Metallica?" And I was like, "Yeah." And we were friends instantly.
That's awesome.
We just gravitated to other kids who were into music and wanted to play music.
That's amazing. What about you?
Yeah, I started playing music earlier. I don't know. I was always very musical. My family was not at all, which was weird. But I started playing guitar when I was probably 11 or 12, and singing. I would watch Poison and Skid Row videos and stuff, and be like, I could do that shit, But it wasn't until like grunge kind of happened, like Nirvana and stuff. That's when I was like, oh, I can actually play these songs on guitar, which led more into getting into punk rock and stuff, which was early, like Green Day, Offspring, all that kind of shit. But then Rancid came, and I was like, oh, that's more punk. And then it just like kept going down the rabbit hole of 90s punk stuff, and then I got into hardcore as well. But I always needed melody, I like the aggression, but I love melody, which leads to H2O, which is like a great combo of both. But
thank you.
So that's and then it just kept going from there. But I don't know what I was even answering there. But
well, you just want to do music when you're in high school. You know what you wanted to do when you graduated?
Oh yeah. We were obsessed. Like there was no question. It was high school was just to be able to go hang out with your friends to talk about when band practice was going to start, or are we going to go skate tonight, or what are we doing, or should we leave now so we can go skate now and then we'll have band practice. School was like just social fun. And
you good skater?
Yeah, I skated forever. I still try, but
street ramps
in my
40s.
Mostly street. Mini ramps. I'll do mini ramps.
Got a kick flip?
Yeah, I had them flips now.
I never landed one. It was later on for me, I think. I probably missed that spot. My son could do all that stuff, but the rails and all that stuff's crazy to me.
Yeah, I would never do big stair rails and shit. I didn't want to kill myself. I was like, all right, what should I try more at, music or skateboarding? It's like I could probably do music until I'm 80 years old, so I should probably focus more on that. But it goes together so well,
100%.
Especially punk rock and skateboarding. It's like that's my two favorite things. It never goes away.
Same. What about you, skate too, Adam?
I was a rollerblader for real.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Wow.
I won't make fun of him now because we've made fun of him enough in our life.
It's probably beef back then. Yeah.
Yeah. I skateboarded here and there, but rollerblading, like, I don't know. I think I saw something. It was like that. The MTV Sports special that had like it was like half skateboarding, half rollerblading.
Okay.
It was like Arlo Eisenberg and whoever the skateboarder was, and that dude was just so weird and bizarre. I was like, I fuck with this guy. I want to do this. So yeah, but handrails and all that shit. I went big and went for that. Yeah.
Wow.
It was
fun. You doing competitions and stuff too, or no?
No, I was never that good. But like, we also growing up in St. Louis in the '90s, we didn't have skate parks. Like we had, there was one,
nothing.
The remnants of one in one neighborhood. The rest was street. And like, when we moved out here in 2002, right before we got signed, just going to the local skate park in Orange County, the little concrete park, watching 9-year-olds do like, kick flip to crooked grind down 6 stairs. We were like, I guess we grew up in the wrong place.
I guess I don't skate.
Yeah.
So true.
My version of skateboarding is not that. So.
Yeah, the bar was much lower for us.
Same with music, being from St. Louis.
Yeah.
There wasn't a whole lot of a scene. It's not like being from LA or New York or something.
Sure.
We were one of the only rock bands that have ever, had the success we've had from St. Louis. So even Max was saying that right before we started. He's like, "There's people like you guys from St. Louis."
What is some other band? Dogfight was from there. That was another band.
Yeah.
Dogfight.
Dogfight. Those guys are awesome.
What are some other bands from there? Yeah, you're right. It's a good point. Because all I knew was Nelly. And then St. Louis
Nelly came out right before we did, and then we were. There was a band called The Urge who we looked up to a lot, but they had a lot of success, but they didn't tour real hard and stuff, But Yeah, it was few and far between with the rock bands and punk rock and stuff. But
Funny enough, though, not to
I
jump
forget
ahead,
that you know the Dogfight guys. Yeah, those
Yeah.
guys are awesome.
but the dude who owns our label that we've done one record on, we're doing another one. He's an old friend from St. Louis that played in bands. You know, a band that like almost got signed, didn't quite happen, and he went on to do A&R at Sumerian, like in their heyday with Asking Alexandria and all that. He was head of A&R there, and then went to start Sharptone.
Oh, okay.
So,
Which is the label we're on now. So.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So he's been around for a while. He's an older cat.
Yep.
Yeah, 40s, yeah.
Same as us.
So was 69 North the last band you guys went together before it turned into Story?
69.
67.
60. Sorry.
Hey,
67. I'm sorry.
That was
69.
sorry. Hey,
It's just in the brain.
It
Edit
was
that out, Joe.
It was surprisingly another street in St. Louis. I
Was
don't know
it?
why we were so obsessed with streets, but but yeah, that was me playing guitar and Ryan playing guitar, our guitar player,
Okay.
and then we had a couple other guys. It was more like a Rage Against the Machine kind of vibe.
Oh,
it was like a
wow.
rapper dude, and then we were just completely ripping off Rage Against the Machine. Basically, that was in like the mid '90s, '96 ish, and then after that we started Big Blue Monkey, which formed or morphed into Story of the Year. So
And what was your metal band you were in when you met these guys?
You don't need to worry about that.
I can't find it online.
tell them
That's good.
you don't want them to know the name.
Was it pretty rough?
What's the next question?
No, they were great. They were great.
It was new metal?
It was kind of new metal-ish.
Yeah.
Was
we
it
were-
rappy?
I was like a shitty Fred Durst.
Wait.
we
You
had-
sang?
Sing's the wrong word.
Wow.
I was a vocalist. So I
And played guitar. You
I
played
s-
guitar at first, right?
Yeah, I started out on guitar. We were a 5-piece, 2 guitars.
Wow.
And our singer, like we were, I don't even know what we were. We wrote whatever riffs we could write as young kids at first, you know?
Yeah.
So we weren't really a genre, but we were heavy enough. But our singer couldn't sing. And he was like
Damn.
an early Jamie Josta kind of thing. And it didn't really fit, and we were trying to do more of a new metal thing. So I, in the studio one day, did this like shitty kind of Jonathan Davis kind of thing on a song, and then I started doing that while I would play guitar, and then eventually it was like, well, maybe you should just also sing, and we'll have 2 singers, because Linkin Park was around by then,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think, you know?
Sick band.
So
Great
it
dude.
was like a
Great
shitty
dude.
Fred Durst with a shitty Jamie Josta and a shitty version of Seven Dust meets Downset.
Wow. Seven Dust. Name.
But these are all better examples than what you guys were really doing. But you guys were really
Sick.
good. You guys were good for the time and what we were doing.
We were good live. Like, we had a lot of energy, and that's why we kind of like gravitated
Yeah.
towards each other, because the show was as important as the music at the time, the energy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like around, and I became friends with these dudes. And eventually, when the position opened up, it wasn't that I was a musician or I could play bass well. It was like, Adam used to play guitar. Like, he could probably play bass. And they paged me on my pager. And I called back.
So cool, man.
And,
Because it was always
joined the band.
more about being friends.
On Page
than-
Avenue.
Yeah, literally.
It was always
Wow.
more about being friends than
Of course.
than
Of
playing,
course,
being
dude.
good at music, you know?
100%.
We just wanted to be in a band with our friends, you know?
Same.
It wasn't about trying to make a career, and the fact that we're still here is insane. I mean, I'm sure it's
Yeah.
the same for you. It's
Yeah.
like, but I think that authenticity and that just how it started as a real organic thing, that's what made it real, you know, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Same original 4,
It's
25 years later
It's
now.
incredible, man.
Yep.
I tried to hold on to that as long as I could to pride myself in having all originals, and so like, yeah, it's me, Rusty, and Adam, 3 of us, and then my
Yep.
brother comes back and forth when he can without Offspring.
Yep.
But yeah, then Max replacing Todd is great because it's family, it's blood, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
so we still kind of have it. Yeah, but I really never wanted to play without all these guys. It's so important, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to when people can't.
Well,
do
yeah,
it, but-
we've had different things, different people come in and out, and he left for a little while.
Yeah.
and then just didn't want to tour anymore, really, and we were in a weird down time in our band anyway. So
Yeah.
stuff changes, and it it's fine.
You left and came back in 2018 or something.
Yeah. So
Where'd you go, man?
we, to my house,
Where did you go? Dun, 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 dun. I want to know. Go. Sorry.
yeah, like Dan said, we were kind of like in a weird down point in the career. Like, you know how like the scene moves on.
And you
Like,
probably burnt, dude. Get burnt.
Yeah,
yeah,
that-
we toured hard for
You did.
good
You really
10
did.
years or so.
so we
It's
did
grinding, dude.
we did our 10th anniversary tour,
Yep.
and then after that, we were in kind of different places in terms of what we wanted to do musically. I didn't want to tour as much, and I was like, I think I just want to just be a person at home. I want to be home with my wife and my dogs for once in my life, just like be in the same place for a while.
Yeah.
So
Try to be normal. Try to be a civilian,
yeah, exactly.
which is hard coming off tour, man.
For sure. It
It's a
was
weird reality.
it was different, but it was like there was no drama at all. Like we had the phone call, and I remember sitting in my office in the apartment and told them everything, and everyone was unsurprised. Like they could tell the vibe.
we could see this coming.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's cool.
And then they proceeded to have the conversation about like, I wonder if so and so could play bass, or maybe just I don't know. And I just sat there on the call like, and eventually I was like, I can go if you guys want to go. I'm like, oh shit, we're sorry. Yeah, like yeah. So it was so completely chill.
Yeah.
It was a very weird thing. Everybody's like,
yeah.
"Oh, why'd Adam leave?" I'm like, "Well, he just didn't want to do it for now." You
Yeah,
know?
I get that.
But then when it came time, it was like, "You want to come back? Are you ready?" And you're like,
Yeah.
"Absolutely."
But I would like come to shows, and I'd hang
Really?
out.
Yeah,
and
you would
just,
Was it weird to go watch them play without you?
it was awesome. Like,
Really? Okay.
Because we had
Imagine getting to see H2O without you in the band.
It's fucking weird though.
It would
Yeah.
be-
I
it
got
would be
to watch
weird as
my
fuck.
own band.
Singer's different.
Yeah,
That's
I
it,
guess. Yeah, you're right.
Because our former guitar player just moved over to bass, so it's not like I saw someone
Some
unfamiliar.
other guy in their shoes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and I would come up and play a song here or there. Like we did a benefit for a friend who had cancer, and I came up and played songs. Tripped on the way up stage, of course. But like,
Really, you were always in the band. It just
I was always
You just
around.
didn't tour for. a
Can't
few
really
years.
leave.
Yeah.
And I remember there was the one show at the Ready Room, whatever it was, and we were backstage and we were all kind of drinking and hanging out before the show. And Dan's like, "So you're back in the band, right?" Right? And I looked at my wife, and he's like, "We're going to Australia. You're back in the band, right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we'll see. We'll see."
Wow.
A couple years later,
Yeah.
we came back.
How many
around.
years were you out of the band?
Like four.
What were you doing for work? Like, what were you doing? How was your life?
I did some like video editing shit for a while. Like I worked for Oaks doing like
Okay.
s-
John Oakes.
festival
Oaks.
edits and stuff like that.
Shout out.
Okay.
And eventually, I started working at Apple, like just in retail. And-
Real job.
Yeah.
Legit.
But I've always been into technology and shit. I've always loved Apple, so it was kind of exciting to me.
That's
to,
cool.
Like, and I like learned this whole skill set that I didn't get to learn being a fake adult like for all those years in a band.
Yeah.
And then I got to there was a role there that was not sales, none of the other bullshit. It's called, the title's creative,
Okay.
So I got to like teach classes, do workshops, like, teach kids how to program robots and
That's
shit.
awesome.
So it was fun, and then COVID happened.
Oh shit. Okay.
And then that was the first thing to get shut down. So I was back in sales, and it just started to suck. And then the 20-year cycle was about to come back,
Oh,
and like
yeah.
our scene started coming back up, and it was time.
Yeah.
We're like, let's
Did
start
you-
touring more and quit having jobs.
Yeah.
Let's just work really hard at this band again.
Did
Yeah.
you miss it?
At
Those years?
first, not at all. I was
Yeah.
happy to have a break, and then slowly I did. I didn't miss, especially when I left. Like we did a couple runs in like a van and an RV and stuff, and we had done so well early on that we kind of got spoiled by buses and shit.
Of course, dude.
Mhm.
So when it was back to being a little rougher,
Kind of
Like, I would-
grinding again.
yeah, I would go see them play in St. Louis and watch everyone loading gear after, and I'd think, I'm so fucking glad I'm not doing that. So fucking glad.
Where's all the texts? Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
Spoiled assholes.
It's like,
Dude.
show's over, I'm out.
Yeah.
I got to
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like bail. But then after a while, because at Apple, like doing the creative stuff, I was playing more music than I had played in years, learning, how to record better
Oh,
and shit
wow.
like that. So I basically got paid to sit there and learn how to run Logic on my Mac, and like
That's cool.
learn how to be an engineer to some degree.
That's awesome.
So
Yeah,
my
you're
creative,
a tech guy now
yeah,
with all
like-
the live tracks and different
Ah.
shit. It's like, Adam, well, we don't know how to work this. What do you do? What
That's
do you do?
cool.
So I brought that. I actually like went and learned a different skill set that applied to my band. Ironically,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just had my creative brain like more and more activated, and
Yeah.
eventually the time was right, and I came back.
That's amazing. When my brother quit the band, he sent us a huge email, and none of us responded to it. It was a heartfelt email, and he would text us in a group text. You guys get the email, like, yeah, we're good. Like, you never leave this band. And then he would come. He
You
would
just
come
wouldn't
back.
let him quit.
No, it's like the mafia. And
Yeah.
then you would come back, you play on a record, then go back and do Offspring. But like, he's my brother. We started this shit together, so
Yeah.
it's different. But that's hard because it's a family too, man. And also, like, you're being on tour for that long, and then, like I said, going back to reality, getting a job, being in society. It's so different, man.
It's weird. It fucks with your head too, and you're like, "What am I doing? Have I been doing the wrong shit my entire life?" It's like,
Yeah. Were you working jobs in between all this stuff?
I had a few different like little things. I was
even after the records, the hit records.
yeah,
and
yeah,
all
yeah.
stuff.
Like in those few years, whenever he was doing the same stuff,
Yeah.
because our scene just kind of it got real slow for a long time, and our band wasn't killing it, and we just didn't want to tour as much, so we slowed down, and it slowed everything down.
What
But,
years were those? Before when we were young came, because I feel like when that festival came, it just brought
like,
everything. Man.
Like 2015 to like those, maybe, I don't know, 13 to 18, somewhere in there, you know.
Yeah, the scene had shifted. Like Warped Tour went
it became
full
more metalcore and stuff,
you know,
and we were kind of more like radio rock side of what we were doing, but I don't know, luckily it all kind of worked out again, but yeah, I was recording bands and stuff and
producing,
trying to be a real person as well at home. But,
yeah, it's weird, right?
Which I do love being home, especially having kids and stuff.
Totally.
I don't want to tour at all if I didn't have to, but it's a great way to make money and to have your band. It's the best shit ever. But
you guys are smart.
Hard.
It seems you guys were smart with your money and bought properties back then.
Yeah, and being from St. Louis, like we were saying, it's cheap there, so we can get away with not needing a whole lot of money. But yeah, still got to work.
Yeah. How were the shows leading up to Page Avenue? Like, were you guys getting bigger locally? Were you guys were touring a lot? Like, how did that change when the record just hit like that?
We were super lucky early on, because we were on Maverick, which was part of Warner.
That's right, man. Guy was Sari
Madonna's label.
Man, that's
yeah.
Right.
So between that and having Reese as our manager, who also managed the Used,
that's right,
and had all those other connections, we just. I mean, a lot of it was kind of incestuous, but it
totally.
worked for everyone, Like our first real tour ever after after we finished the album, the first, to go out in support of it was from the bottom up, it was us, My Chemical Romance, Thrice, The Used.
Yep.
Right?
Dude.
Yeah, playing like 1,000 cap rooms.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude.
Like nobody knew My Chem yet because they were on their before 3 Cheers or whatever that record.
That's right.
Smelly Vampire era. Yeah.
Thrice was still an Illusion of Safety. They hadn't really blown up yet. They were getting traction, but The Used was just like kind of hitting, and nobody knew us yet. So crazy tour to start out.
That's the first one. That's crazy, dude.
So then that kicked it off enough that once we started headlining, like they were kind of getting the single out there, and back then it would take 6 months to get a song on radio around the whole country. So it wasn't like it was a hit that charted, but it was like happening in enough places that we would show up and we'd start to see people at headlining shows. I remember our very first headlining show was
somewhere in like
not far from New York,
Connecticut or something.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Danbury or something?
Yeah, it's got that
somewhere up there.
Tall ceiling in that room with the loading dock on the side. It's kind of sketchy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
in Connecticut,
somewhere up there. But it wasn't sold out, but it was fucking packed.
I think we were on Warped Tour in 2003, and we were like routing home or something.
Right.
And we were like, we could do a couple headlining shows.
Yeah, because we did Warped. We did that in 2003 as things were starting up.
That and 2004 and 2005, but yeah.
So that was, that's the machine to make any punk, emo, anything band really connect. So
100%.
We were lucky enough to have that. And then when we started doing the headlining shows, we'd see more kids and more kids. And then, we'd come play out here or we'd play in New York, like 2 places that we're kind of intimidated by,
Yeah.
We were especially because you guys and everybody else in the New York hardcore scene, we were so intimidated by playing, the idea of playing in New York.
That's crazy, yeah.
And then we'd show up and the shows would be packed.
Awesome.
Yeah, the East Coast was always way better for us.
Really?
In the
West
early
Coast?
days.
Yeah.
In the early days. Because the West Coast, it's just harder the drives are longer, everything's harder over this way. But, I don't know.
I don't know if it was you and Ray on the album or if we just pulled enough influence that people got it, but the Northeast just like connected right away.
That's awesome, man.
It just worked.
Had you played there before a bunch at all before that record came out?
No, like that year before we were touring real hard, but because it took forever for the record to come
Warped
out.
Tour, Randall's Island, or something like that, or
Yeah.
Warped Tour is such a game changer too.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it wasn't until the record had been out for like 6 months when we went on tour with Linkin Park, as we were talking about, and that's whenever
Crazy, man.
Until the Day I Die really started hitting at radio because they're like, oh, this band's on tour with the biggest fucking rock band on the planet right now. And then K-Rock started picking it up, and that's when the radio success started happening, like about 6 or 8 months.
Yeah, and Linkin
after
Park
the record.
being a Warner band, that was part of the equation too. So they could for them, business-wise, they could push the new band with the successful band, and
100%.
It just like the fucking stars aligned. We're so lucky in that respect that it all shook out that way.
How was that tour with Linkin Park? How was the audience and how were they? And
it was crazy. It was like 15,000 people every night. They were like on the top of the world at that point, and it was great. We had to win them over every night. We were opening, and it was us, Hoobastank, POD, and Linkin Park.
Wow, dude.
Yeah.
So it was a little weird for us because we were like more of like the kid kind of energy punk rock kind of kids.
Yeah.
And they were more of like the I don't know what Linkin Park is considered nowadays, but
Yeah.
back then it wasn't the same thing. It was like it was not nu metal, but I guess it was kind of.
Yeah. But like the energy.
But now
and,
at
like,
emo night, Linkin Park gets played, and we're all this emo.
Really?
Everybody's emo bands now. All of a sudden,
It's crazy. I was
I'm
reading
like, what
about
the
like,
fuck?
what different genres you try to put you guys in, emo, punk, like all these different
Yeah,
genres. It's like
it's confusing because now everything's kind of melded together.
It is.
in a different way than it was 20 years
I
ago.
could say you're a hardcore punk band to me.
Yeah,
and
we have influences from all of
That's
it.
what I'm saying. Like your influences. I feel like a
Yeah.
lot of bands, their sound doesn't define what hardcore is to me. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
people in it and
Yeah.
their attitude and everything. I don't know.
We kind of had,
Yeah.
we brought it all together, but lyrically, I understand why the emo association makes sense. Like, Until the Day I Die is like, I'm not trying to talk up our band too much, but like, it's like a formative song in the mainstreaming of what emo was. You know what I mean?
I agree.
It's like one of the first songs that actually broke through out of the scene, to mainstream, that has that kind of dark, saves the day kind of
Yeah.
lyrical thing,
Yeah.
But
Just the name of the song itself, people probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
But post-hardcore was what made most sense to me when I thought about what our band was at the time.
Yeah.
Coming from Glassjaw and
Oh, yeah.
Thrice and shit like that. That was, from either side of the country. We're in the middle. We're pulling from all of it. And same kind of like East Coast, West Coast punk. You get the pop punk and also the South Florida shit. So we were
yeah.
pulling it all together. New
I
Found
was
Glory
obsessed
influence.
with Boy Sets Fire around that
That too,
period.
yeah.
Okay.
Vocally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told Nathan from that band, Nathan's his name, yeah. I was like, dude, used to love you guys, man, and there would be no Story of the Year without Boy Sets Fire. He just stared me right in the face. He goes, I know.
Wow.
I was like,
Wow.
oh, okay, cool. He laughed, but I was like, fuck, yeah.
So
Okay.
so the Linkin Park tour was kind of the game changer, and the record starts hitting the
100%.
radio, and you're on that tour. And how long was that tour for?
It was a full U.S. tour.
Couple months.
Yeah. It was
Does
a
your
big-
position on the bill change when you guys start getting higher on the charts and more people coming for you? Because I've seen there are a lot of bands that start blowing up on the tour.
Yeah.
They're playing first, and all of a sudden they're like a huge
No,
song.
it did get better and better, I think, as it went. But Hoobastank also was blowing up that song, The Reason, when
Yeah,
that had come out at the exact same time,
Okay.
too.
All four bands had singles that were hitting. So
Everybody.
the whole
Oh,
thing was
POD
going
too.
on.
Yeah, I think-
Use of the Nation and shit was
Yep.
going on. Yeah.
Yep.
Damn.
So it was an insane tour.
Everybody's killing it then.
Yeah.
And then you remember like your first big headlining show in St. Louis after the record's out?
Well, at the end of that same year, we did the Nintendo Fusion tour, and we were headlining on that.
Okay.
And then we did that was like the biggest. We did 2 nights at the pageant,
Yeah.
and we filmed both of those, and that's our live DVD that we
Yeah,
ended
yeah,
up
yeah.
putting
Oh, that's
out
right,
called
duh.
Live in the Lou. That was on that tour at the end of that year.
How big's
So
the pageant?
that was the culmination of that whole 2-year cycle,
2,200, I
yeah,
think.
Oh,
22,
wow.
something like that.
Like a theater, like a,
They just played. You just played where with Descendants. That's
Oh,
where
that's
you
right.
guys just
Okay,
played
yeah, yeah.
recently.
That's like your Roseland. That's like a classic spot
Yeah,
in St.
Yeah.
Louis.
Yeah, it's the cool spot.
And where did you headline before that? You remember?
The Galaxy a lot.
Oh, the Galaxy, that's right.
I saw you guys at the Galaxy
Okay.
many times.
Mississippi Nights.
Mississippi Nights.
Those
Yeah,
were our
rest in
early
peace.
ones. Creepy Crawl. We never played there as Story of the Year, but we did our video for Until the Day I Die at the Creepy Crawl.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, those are all the classic
Dude.
St. Louis venues.
Best story about Mississippi Nights. So that was the ultimate goal as a local band. Like if you can, you play like the side door, you play the high point, then you play the Galaxy. If you can really pull, some, because that was 500, 600, 700 depending on
Yeah.
what the fire marshal would allow.
Yeah.
And then Mississippi Nights
Probably
was
really
like,
held 200 people. Yeah.
Right. Mississippi Nights would max out at like 1,000, right? So that's like if our band is just going to dominate St. Louis, we'll play Mississippi Nights. We played our going away show before we moved to Orange County to kind of like before we got signed. We're like, okay, we maxed out our hometown. Let's go try to get into another scene and take it from there, right? So we played our farewell show. We're loading out, and it was packed. I think we sold it out.
Yeah, we sold that out. Yeah.
So we're loading out, and I remember overhearing, just the door guy or somebody, an employee, thought I couldn't hear him, thought I was by him. He goes, yeah, they'll be back in 6 months.
Wow.
And then a year later, we came back, and I think we played a show, like a welcome home show, after getting signed.
We did the Galaxy with Mike Kim.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
I do not remember that.
Remember we did that couple weeks? Yeah, doesn't matter. But yeah,
Wow.
But either way,
it was in between, and then we played the pageant later that year.
Yeah. But it was just like, the one venue that locally you have a goal to kind of make it to. We did it. Somebody told us we wouldn't do shit else, and then we came back and
That's crazy,
You know.
dude. So you guys all moved to California together.
Yeah, as a band.
Whose idea was that?
all of us. We just thought that that's what we had to do, because being from St. Louis, we're like, well, what the fuck else are we going to do?
We have to go
here?
to Orange County.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot
Well,
of
we had friends. There's a band called Bullets and Octane. Our friend Gene, who lived out here, moved from St. Louis too,
Okay.
who had lived out here for a few years, and he was like, "You guys got to come out. It's just like everything's better here." So we
man.
moved as a band with eight people total. I think lived in our little Orange County house
3-bedroom house,
in,
bunk beds and everything.
in Westminster.
How long did you live out here for?
About a year, roughly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Did your
that was
your lady was out here too.
yeah.
Wow.
She lived with us. We had
She's a real one.
couple of the
coming out for the
girlfriends.
dreams.
Yeah.
Yep, and then she was our merch girl forever. Shout out Jenny.
Awesome. Shout out to Jenny. Yeah, man, that's so cool. He's still with her. It's awesome, man.
But
That's cool. She came out here with you like, I'm gonna follow my man's and follow his
Yep.
dreams.
She still has to put up with me.
I'm sure.
It's funny how it worked out though. Like we moved out to try to get signed and like almost like start over in another city. But we had also been doing so much like just gangster shit with like spreading everything leading up to that. So there was like the radio festival in St. Louis and Goldfinger played, and it was with our old guitar player at the time. We had this, instead of a demo CD or demo tape, we had a VHS.
Yeah.
We made like an EPK kind of thing, a little edit. There was a bunch of live footage and us just, like Jackass days, Blink-182 days, like
Totally.
Just us being idiots and then playing music occasionally.
setting each other on fire, like running into the bushes, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And we were giving those to everyone. And our old guitar player, who is no longer with us, rest in peace, he, we gave Feldman some in person at the signing, but then he went and found Goldfinger's bus, opened the door, just put it up there, like put it by their TV, close the door,
Wow, dude.
And then later...
Which would piss any band dude
Yeah.
off.
Of course, yeah.
But luckily nobody
I
saw him.
love that.
So they had a couple copies, and apparently that night, this was in the days before anybody had a smartphone or anything, so they're just watching whatever DVDs, CDs, whatever, or VHS tapes they have on the bus. And Brian, I think that the dude who played guitar way back in the day, right, was like, "What's this? You guys want to watch this?" And put it in apparently. And Feldman was like, "What band is this?" And just called the number on the tape, and that's how the whole thing
way.
started.
It was like Ryan's mom's house or whatever.
Yeah,
Or
Yeah.
maybe John Oakes' dad's house. Something.
You guys
yeah.
used to practice at Ryan's house though, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Dude, that's crazy. So we just called the number?
yeah. So all that started.
Bro.
Whether or not we had moved to Orange County, that was already in motion.
Totally.
But we didn't find out until we got there. It was like the first month that we were in the house. Oakes came in and he's like, "Dude, I just got a call from Goldfinger's manager." And we're like,
Like they want to take you on 2 weeks of tour.
Yeah.
And we're
Bro.
like, okay. And then that snowballed into him wanting to do the record and blah, 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 So that's how we got hooked up with that. And then he was an A&R guy for Maverick. So it all kind of
that's
stemmed.
right, he was.
It all stemmed
Yeah.
from just randomly putting shit on their bus. It's like
In St. Louis.
In
That's
St.
the funny
Louis.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some DIY street team shit right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Wow. And that worked. And he called you. He was like, "This is real. That's crazy,
Yeah.
man."
Then the 2 weeks turned into 2 more weeks, and then we did Warped, and just all fell into
Did you
place.
like Orange County when you guys got there? Was it a big culture difference, obviously, from
it
coming
was
to St. Louis?
it was a lot different than St. Louis for sure. But
Yeah.
we loved it. We were young, we were 20,
Yeah.
21 years old, just like sun,
Going to the beach?
happiness. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
playing
Sunshine.
music. We're like, we're living the fucking dream,
And so you guys working in Orange County or just touring?
A
saved
couple
up-
people got
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
jobs.
We saved up a bunch of money,
Yeah.
except for Josh. He didn't save any money, and then he blew all his remaining money when we got there.
Yeah.
But
Still the story of his
Yeah.
his year.
It's here.
what we would do is we would, we had our CDs duplicated,
Yeah.
like our 3-4 song thing, whatever. So we would buy CDs from, we as individuals would buy CDs from our band
Okay.
to then go sell in a backpack with headphones at the mall or whatever, So we would go out and hustle that way.
Wow.
So, it was like an accountability thing in a way. Like we're not just going to distribute CDs to ourselves. Like if we're going to do this,
I forgot that we would do that.
we're going to
That's so crazy.
we're going to personally invest in this handful of CDs or whatever, you know?
So if you work harder promoting your band, you make money off of it.
Yeah. So we would keep
Damn.
personally whatever money we made from selling those CDs. So
It was very like underground hip hop kind of thing that happened later.
Yeah.
With
Off
like
the trunk of your car.
yeah.
yeah.
That's crazy.
And then we
man.
did the same thing on Warped. We'd go around all day with backpacks and headphones and we'd walk up to people and just put the headphones on them. In 2002 when we did, 2 weeks of shows or whatever on a fake stage. Basically our friend who had a label, if you're listening, my hands are doing the air quotes.
On a fake stage.
On Warped Tour, yeah. It was like a tent, but we put a stage on it.
Exactly.
in it.
So
Wow.
he rented a 10x10 sponsor spot, and then in our backyard in Orange County, we built a 10x10 stage out of just like 2x6s and shit. So we would put the tent on
Dude.
top of the stage, and he got a PA, and like 3-4 bands would play every day. But we were so wild and shit, we couldn't stand in a 10x10 thing. So it basically became our drum riser, and the whole surrounding area was the stage. So
He's on the Warped Tour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
2002.
You can rent out a spot
before
and
we
play.
were signed and everything. Yeah. It was,
But you're not even booked in the Warped Tour, but you're
No.
booked in this tent
Yeah.
with your friends' label.
and luckily,
Wow.
Kevin Lyman never shut it down. I think he was just like, oh, those kids are having a good time over there.
That's crazy, man.
There were a couple days that we almost did get
Yeah.
shut down
got
because
weird.
we
Really?
had this giant inflatable blue gorilla,
Yeah.
because we were still Big Blue Monkey at the time,
Yeah.
that some friends acquired from a car dealership. So we would blow it up
Allegedly.
behind the tent. It was all just like, it was earlier days, so like Lyman didn't have everything so locked down.
Totally.
We blow up this big fucking thing, and the generator wasn't enough to do the monkey with the blower and all our gear and everything.
PA and
So mid-set, it would trip the breaker on the generator, and the gorilla would start coming down over the tent and the crowd.
Wow, dude.
And that it was fucking chaos. And there were a
That's
couple days where
incredible.
it kind of fell weird on someone, and we got some complaints. So
This all sounds exhausting now.
Holy
Yeah.
Like I can't
shit.
imagine having that energy that we did
Oh,
in
no.
those years. And
Is there footage of this stuff?
Yeah, somewhere.
definitely pictures and stuff. Yeah, I'm
That's
sure there's
so.
footage too.
That's crazy, man.
old DV tapes and stuff
And
somewhere.
were the crowds getting bigger when you guys were doing those shows?
Yeah, we would. Well, yeah, nobody
In
knew
the
who
tent?
we were still, but
Still.
we would always get a crowd because we were weird and
Plus, yeah,
we would just be out there running around
It was
yelling
like
at people and be like, "Come over here!"
It was like Streets of Las Vegas type shit.
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
think about it.
it's so crazy though, man.
Yeah.
And then fast forward, you guys are probably in the main stage at the Warped Tour at some time.
Yeah, just a couple years later. Yeah,
Yeah, 03 we did basically every
Dude.
stage. You know how it is. Like they
Yeah.
would rotate through. And then 04 we were, flip-flopping the main stage.
We were on that one too. I think Hazy Street was on that one.
Hazen Street was
Yeah.
on 04. Yeah, that was the
That's
year.
right. Who else was on that one?
I think Newfound Glory was
That's
there.
right.
The Used,
Alkaline Trio was there.
Alkaline Trio. Yep.
Glassjaw, Thrice.
Glassjaw was on 03. I don't think they're on 04. I don't know. We did both years, so it's kind of confusing on who was on what year.
Yeah.
It was such an important tour looking back on it, as much as it was
Oh, yeah.
stressful and hard. Like all the people that you met and
It was
relationships.
very
and
important, but yeah, it was a hard tour.
Those mixed CDs just to throw out and stuff was
Yeah.
so helpful. People hit me up still. I heard you on the Warped Tour comp or something with a Punkorama or
Yeah.
Especially if you're in a van doing it, it's
We
like
did that too. It was
fucking, it's damn near
brutal.
impossible.
brutal, dude.
In a bus, it's acceptable, but it's still hard. But
We
we had
did
we had a
van.
shower the one year on our bus, and that I think in 08,
That's sick.
and we just never left the bus.
I
It was like
either,
to
bro.
stage, back to the bus because it was till the sun went down.
Yeah, the van that's built for a bus tour,
Yeah.
obviously.
But
even the
that-
drives, it was
Because you
just
could play
so
11 or 12 in the morning, bro. Who
Yeah.
knows?
Yeah. But even a bus, dude, like if you don't have a new enough bus, like our first year in 03 when we were sharing with Letter Kills,
Yep.
sharing a bus, it was an old Eagle, it was a piece of shit.
Eagles.
And like the air would go out and then the generator would go out. Like there were a few times I remember sitting in my underwear, nothing but my underwear in the front lounge, and I could watch the sweat come out of my pores, like physically.
Damn.
It's like,
Then it
100,
becomes an oven.
it's like
Yeah.
110 in there, yeah.
Fuck.
And you don't want to go out in the sun, so you just sit in the dark.
These are the
in the
joys. These are the joys of touring, people. In case
People
you
think
have
it's
not
so
done
glamorous,
it.
dude.
Yeah,
Even in the bus, dude.
yeah, it
Oh, yeah.
can still suck.
It's a fucking motorhome, dude. It's not a
I
glamorous
know.
thing,
We broke down in there once, and then we already be like hobos on different people's buses. So like,
yeah.
Yeah.
I was with Rancid, my brothers with No Effects, somebody was with the Boss Tones. We're all spread out, not sleeping with each other.
Yeah, do you
Yeah.
got space? Can one of us ride with you? Yeah.
I know. We had a trailer breakdown. We had a fucking our dude. Was it? Oh, that was the Misfits. The Misfits had a Winnebago. They went under overpass, and the whole roof came off. I remember that shit was crazy, bro.
Oh man.
Fucking the Warped Tour is I think it's coming back. I heard too, maybe.
I don't know why it wouldn't.
Just
at this point.
like maybe one in New York, LA. Chicago.
Yeah.
That's what I heard, man.
like with the success of When We Were Young
I
and stuff.
know.
It seems obvious that they could do it, but
Dude, think about kids right now, anywhere from teen age to to Max's age. If your parents didn't take you when you were little, imagine going to because now it's for kids who are tweens. Emo bands,
Yeah.
punk bands are like Zeppelin and Black Sabbath were to us, like of that that
Totally.
same interval.
Yeah.
So imagine getting into these bands, and you see When We Were Young, and you're like, wow, this is amazing. This is one show. And then someone tells you, they used to tour all summer, every city in the whole country, and do the same shit.
This whole thing.
30 bands.
It has to blow kids' minds when they see those
know.
bills.
I saw footage you guys playing. That looked unreal, dude.
Oh, When We Were Young, yeah, it was
Unreal, man.
massive. We're doing it again this year. It's
Yeah.
gonna be awesome. But
Yeah.
yeah, it kind of blew our minds too. We're like, oh, this many people still like us. This is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like massive.
I think there was like 50 or 60,000 people there, but during our set, probably 20 or 30,000 at least watching us even. And
it was crazy.
it's just madness. Yeah.
Must feel good though.
It felt great.
It's validating.
Coolest thing about it is the backstage is like just completely, there's all the tents and it's, or trailers, but it's just like band hangout zone. So it's just like 30, 40 bands just
class reunion.
And you're like, holy shit, hey dude, I haven't seen you in 15 years. You know?
Yeah.
It was awesome. That part of it was my favorite for sure.
And that was a big game changer for you guys, you think? Like the resurgence of all that kind of
it's
pop punk and all that stuff. It seems like it's so big now.
Yeah.
It's definitely
reigniting
our hope to be able to continue to do it. And,
for sure.
Because we'll always love music and we'll always play music, but whether you can do it professionally or not is always not for certain.
Yeah.
So.
Was there a good amount of years you guys just living off the band? Had to be, obviously.
Yeah, for sure, for a long time. And then it wasn't really working. Well, we probably could have pushed really hard and just toured and worked our asses off and played 350 shows a year and probably made it work, but it's like...
It's a lot, dude.
Getting a little older, we're touring pretty hard right now again, but not crazy. We only do like 3 weeks at a time.
That's nice, yeah.
Like just trying to balance home life, having families, and being a band guy at the same time. So
yeah.
Trying to be smarter too, and like... Also, there's like, we have the luck and the fortune and luxury now to be able to say no in a way that will then work to our advantage,
Yeah,
like in the downtime, it's like, well, this is all they're going to offer us. We either say yes and go out there and make it, make this money, or we go get jobs, and we would have to do those calculations. Like Josh would say, like Ryan and I made this documentary about the music industry in like
I know, I saw
2012, whatever.
Yeah.
And there are very, very candid conversations in that about, like, we would bring up a tour budget, you know, where we'd look at, Spotify royalties, and it's like, okay, well, we can go do this or stay home and work at an auto body place and make more.
Yeah.
So there was that dark time, but then now at, the resurgence and the demand is back, it's like, okay, we're going to pass on this one, and then the promoter comes back and they're like, how about this much?
It's nice. It's nice to be
how about twice as much?
But it's nice to be able to do that. Yeah, you don't have to.
You can afford to be able
to
be like, I don't think we can do that.
That's how it should be. So how many years you guys been around? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and we're lucky to be.
That was called "Who Killed or Saved the Music Industry," correct?
Yeah.
I can see that somewhere. People can watch it online still.
I can send you a link.
Okay.
We did a Kickstarter for it.
That's right.
And we thought we were just going to go, spend a few months, edit it, spend a few months with interviews, a few months editing, and release it. But it was the kind of thing where the more interviews we got, the more we could then leverage bigger interviews.
Yep.
And it was also like film school for us. Ryan and I were learning along the way, like how to tell the story. And it ended up taking a couple years to make.
Yeah.
And then finally, Oaks got involved in kind of producing. And it was his job to go figure out the distribution and everything, our job to make the movie, right? And at some point, he got wrapped up in some other shit, and it got into limbo. We delivered it to the patrons, but never fully released it. And then with the rate that everything changes, it almost became irrelevant. Like a lot of points we were making, I kept having to update the data. Like I had graphs and shit, showing like the change. And it's like, well, that graph's 2 years old now.
Oh, it's changed so
even 10 years ago to now,
I know, dude.
The music business has changed so much.
So you can watch it now, and it's a cool like kind of time capsule of what it was like then. I'll send you the link. But, it's, I don't know, a lot of it still holds true.
Yeah.
It's about like breaking down that idea that we're all like rich rock stars.
I love that
just because someone's popular.
People have such a weird reality about expect that their perspectives on artists and musicians.
Even us as those 20-year-old kids thinking like every punk band on Epitaph was millionaires, and it's
some of them were,
but
not all, for sure.
But even in like the heyday, like of when, or at least when my friends and I in our old band, we were super into New York hardcore and shit.
Yeah.
Like I remember I was in New York for something, or maybe we were playing shows by then, and I saw the bass player of Earth Crisis working in a sandwich shop.
Wow.
And that was like, oh, everything's different than I thought. Everything,
Perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. Especially with social media now too. Everything's it's so like
and it's so performative. People only put the best shit out there, so that even warps it even further,
Yeah. Dang. What was the last real job you had before you blew up? What was your last real job?
We all worked at pizza places.
Okay, sick.
Like me, Ryan, and Josh all worked at Papa John's, and he worked at a local place called Emo's.
With an I.
Emo's. Not with an E, with an I, which is weird. But it is
weird.
Funny now. It's Emo's Pizza.
That's funny.
But yeah, we would we would find ways to smuggle a little extra money and saved up all of our stuff. And our whole fucking crew worked at Papa John's. It was like we ran this one Papa John's, and we just we did it for a few years and saved as much as we could right before we moved to California. And then that was the last real job that we had for a long time there.
But no Papa John's tat.
No. I still enjoy it. It's okay.
You did acting too.
Me?
You were in like 2 things or something. Right? Punk's Not Dead and
well, yeah,
the Instant Messenger Mission.
I don't know. Yeah, I see that it's that my name's on the that IMDb, but
yeah,
the Punk's Not Dead thing was just probably like
false information,
either an interview or something. It wasn't like, I don't know why it's on there. I did do a TV show pilot that never got picked up for MTV.
Oh, really?
But it was just like a rock band makeover kind of show, and I was going to be the host.
Reality show thing.
But I was terrible.
Like a makeover, like a whole look makeover? Or just...
like their gear and everything. Like a pimp my ride, but for band guys, basically. And it was fucking insane, and I wasn't very good at it, and they were like, it never got picked up.
So dude, the acting's false.
I thought you were really good at it.
It was fine, but,
honestly,
maybe the idea just sucked. It wasn't.
Yeah. Like, you can give a band all new gear and get them haircuts, but they're not going to be a better band, is what it comes down to.
So true.
Yeah.
So, but like, we shot this thing in my garage, like his demo, reel, whatever. Yeah. They gave him some lines, and he just, we just shot it in the garage and sent it in. They're like, yeah, let's do it. And brought him out here for a pilot.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but no, I cannot act.
Okay.
I never even really thought, I would not want to. It seems hard.
Who came up with the name Story of the Year?
When we were called Big Blue Monkey, we had a song called Story of the Year.
Oh, gotcha.
Which is still out there. If people search it, you can hear us say, well, that's the story of the year. It's really funny to hear now. It's like, but when we changed our name, we wanted to keep what little fan base we already had. We thought we were already like, we have so many fans already. We don't want to piss them all off. So our 7 fans didn't get mad because we changed it to a familiar name. But it was a cool sounding thing, and it was like, yeah, that makes sense.
It fit the time.
Yeah.
It's never a thing I've regretted, really. I'm just like, Story of the Year. Other than it's kind of long and like on a T-shirt or something.
It's
not as easy as H2O, but.
Yeah. S-O-T-Y.
But we were always jealous of the Used because it was just the Used. It just looked so cool, and we were like, fuck, our name's so long.
Yeah, something you can't shorten just has so much appeal. It's like that Gene Simmons approach,
Yeah.
Like
Kiss?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's his thing.
So how do your lives change when the record blows up and you're selling all these records? It's 1 million now, but does it change your life? Do you guys come home with like people recognize you in your town? Like, just how does it change with the video and all the radio play? Was there some moments there where you're like, holy shit, like we're big, or like this is it, or?
I mean, it didn't change us too much, I don't think, obviously.
Not as people, maybe in your town.
We were on tour so much at the time that you don't even notice it, because you're just like, the shows get bigger, but you're just so focused on playing every day. But MTV was still very relevant at the time.
Totally, dude. What does that mean?
Which is part of how the record broke so
and
hard.
Fuse.
And Fuse.
That's right.
Like, so our videos, the first couple, were all over those channels. So yes, the record, we were getting recognized everywhere. Going to the mall was a nightmare for a couple of years. It's like, I can't even walk in that mall.
It's like you're walking in Hot Topics over here, you're on this side, and you go to the other side instead. Just like
wow.
But that was brief, and that was when our fans were young. Now it's like, I hope people are like, oh, that guy knows who I am. Hi. Yeah. You like my band?
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, dude.
You think Nelly and those guys like heard of you guys too? Because you guys are the local guys.
I would assume we have a lot of mutual friends.
Yeah. Because the Lunatics performed with you or something, came on stage or something?
Yeah, we City Spud.
Dude, so City Spud was the dude that that Nelly wore the Band-Aid for, who was in jail forever.
That was a hard look too.
Yeah. His half brother. I actually worked at Subway, my first job ever, with City Spud.
Okay, that's his half brother.
Yeah.
Wow, dude, that's sick.
Yeah, and he, they used to come around. All his friends, they would come and sit outside in the back of Subway and sit on the car and just rap.
Okay.
And everybody just drink and smoke weed and rap. And I, at that point, I was 15 years old. I had never heard of a local rap group, so I had no concept. And he's like, "Yeah, we're called Saint Lunatics," and I was like, "Okay, that'll be cool." I've never met a local rap group. Cool.
Yeah.
And then Nelly came out, and the Lunatics thing happened, and I was like, "That's Lavelle from
that's
fucking
crazy,
Subway."
Dude.
No way.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but we've never like really crossed paths with
Nelly?
with him. But yeah, we know the producers and a bunch of other people we've worked with and done things, but all the local guys. But yeah, we're waiting. We're waiting. Nelly, where you at?
I think Murphy Lee came out or something with you guys, right? You said
we
At one of your shows, maybe Murphy Lee's?
No, that was City Spud.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah,
But
that's cool.
Yeah, he came out and did a thing at the pageant with us.
Yeah. But the producer who did Country Grammar, did that first album, went to high school
Great
with
record.
them.
Okay,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Well, one of them, yeah, J.E., the main dude, we all kind of grew up in the same area, right around the Page Avenue area. So, but Jason Bridges, he did a lot of the producing as well. And, yeah, we've done a bunch of stuff with him. And,
That's cool, man. He was huge.
Yeah.
Be living there during that time. Nelly was just everything, man. Massive, man.
Yeah, it's
everything we did, it was like, we're from St. Louis. Oh, like Nellyville?
Yeah,
exactly.
Nellyville? For
Nellyville,
years, that was
that's
it.
right.
That was
Yeah.
it. And
So
we're like,
good, though.
We're like,
man.
yep.
there's not a lot out of St. Louis, and there was like a
Yeah.
long gap between like Chuck Berry and Nelly. There was like the Urge was in the 90s, but there's not much from St. Louis
Yeah, that's
musically.
cool. Yeah.
There's been a lot of stuff after us. Like
Has there?
A lot of underground kind of indie bands and stuff. And
Some big bands, though, that
but
came out of there.
not as much mainstream kind of
Yeah.
stuff, but a lot of cool underground stuff. But
There's kind of a hardcore scene now in St. Louis,
Okay.
which is pretty sick. My wife's best friend, my best friend-in-law, her brother's in a band called Life Sucks.
Okay. It's a hard name.
They're badass, dude. They're hardcore shit. And there's a little like hole in the wall venue, down like on like sketchy road coming out of the city that's so perfectly hardcore. Like it just feels like the 90s when you walk in
That's
there.
cool.
There's like a big old vintage neon Taco Bell sign behind the bar
Sick.
for no reason,
Sick.
and it's just the stage is this tall and it feels like a
Perfect.
hall show,
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
You guys still listen to new bands that are coming out and stuff? Pay attention to it, or
I try. Yeah.
There's so many now.
Yeah.
It's so huge now. Hardcore. It's amazing. It's so diverse. There's so many female singers and all kinds of.
Yeah.
It's incredible, man.
Yeah, I don't keep up as much as I want to. I'm doing that like old guy thing where I'll go back and revisit things that I maybe missed when I was younger, or
Yeah.
stuff that I grew up on that I was always part of my life, but I never did a deep dive on.
Yeah.
I'll like Billy Joel's been part of my life forever, but I never really went down the rabbit hole on Billy Joel.
Incredible, man.
Yeah, and last year I fully did it and was like,
Classic hardcore.
Yeah.
I was like,
His new song. His newest song. You heard it?
no,
It's incredible, dude. It's his first song in like 17 years or something.
I
Yeah,
heard
I
about
heard-
it. I
He
didn't
got a
listen
young
to it.
producer like inspired him to go into the studio with him.
yeah,
It's really dark and heavy about marriage and stuff and life, but it's beautiful, dude.
sick. I'm
He's
gonna
my
check it out.
bucket list. I'm trying to see him this summer with Sting
Yeah, my wife and I are gonna try to do that as well.
Yeah, I wanna see
September
it.
they're coming.
because he's doing Madison Square Garden, like his last couple shows there.
Yeah.
So many fucking bangers, dude.
It's unreal, dude. It's unreal.
Really amazing songwriter and like
Yeah, the songwriting stuff is like what really grabbed me because, and we were doing this earlier because we've been out here writing.
yeah,
We were listening to some old Beatles songs and stuff, and we're talking about structure, and thinking about like trying to think of some good hooks that
Mhm.
how they land from the
Yeah.
verse, like what just basics of songwriting. And there's some stuff about songwriters back in the day before everything got kind of like homogenized into this current formula that seems to be the main thing.
yeah.
Where it's the kind of song that you can't just write music and hand to a singer and then they write melodies and lyrics. It's like it has to just flow out. You think about like Uptown Girl.
Yeah.
I always bring this up. Like the verse and the chorus and the bridge, which also happens again. So is it even the fucking bridge? Everything is a hook. The whole thing, it just flows from part to part.
It's true, actually.
It's like Beatles with Let It Be. It's just part to part. It doesn't matter what's the chorus, what the verse is. They just melodically move from part to part, and none of it can possibly leave your head.
It's a good point, man.
So
You guys listen to that kind of stuff now for the new record?
just randomly
We were just
today.
doing that today.
Today.
Yeah.
No, we were like, we probably should have done this earlier this week
Yeah.
before we wrote all week with a bunch of people. But yeah,
Yeah,
Because I'm sure your
No, it's all
influences
good.
have changed throughout your lives since the first record till now.
for sure.
What you're listening to, how your life's going, all that.
yeah,
And
yeah. It's weird. Yeah, I didn't even prepare this time. I was just like, let's just go write music. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys just writing out here right now. There's like no stress. There's
Yeah,
no timeline.
on
there's
the
no...
last record that we did last year, Tear Me to Pieces.
2023.
It was the first time we'd ever done any co-writing with anybody.
Oh, okay.
Because we always just did it ourselves, and like most older punk bands and stuff. But it was a really cool experience to write with other people, just to get other people's perspective on what our band should be and what we should sound like, or what their idea is of what we sound like. And it really helped because that last record reinvigorated a lot of stuff. It got a lot of energy back, and people loved it. So
That's awesome,
yeah, we're
man.
gonna do that again. You go write with people, and maybe you don't ever use that song, but it doesn't matter. You just write a song with somebody, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
that was pretty fun.
Is it
like-
weird? Is it weird to have somebody else in this that has been in the band is writing songs with you? Is it kind of
It's not weird. It
Okay.
seemed like it was going to be weird, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's weird. It's more like
No.
just having a different guy in your band, and
Yeah.
then you're just like he's just giving you more ideas, and you're like, oh yeah, oh that's pretty cool.
It's like every time you sit down, it's a fresh band member. You
That's
know,
true.
It's like a fifth or
Yeah.
sixth band member every
And
time.
yeah.
And the way we do it, it's like we kind of get an idea and then just have them help us with it. You know, it's not
Yeah.
like they're writing everything for us or anything, but it's been really fun. It's just collaboration more than anything.
Yeah.
And there's even stuff like, you know, that you get the muscle memory of whether it's a physical muscle memory of playing, like
Yeah.
when you would do a chord change, how you would move your hand or whatever, or melodically where you would tend to go. It's just like your brain is kind of set in a certain way.
Yeah.
And somebody else might do the exact same notes, but they might move just at a slightly different time or slightly different cadence, or they might hear it slightly differently. And it's unfamiliar and uncomfortable in a way that makes you think slightly differently. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And Colin, like our producer, is that like even certain chord changes. Like Ryan and I would both have a tough time sometimes. Like, wait, how are you playing it? Or you go then? You know, it's just,
yeah.
and it's cool because it can be very familiar, but be slightly different in a way that makes it more interesting or fresh. You know?
Yeah.
Just sparks some new ideas. It
Yeah.
Yeah.
gets you excited. It's cool.
So you guys been kind of feel like kind of reborn in a sense since when we were Young Festival and all that stuff and feeling the love and
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
it's
then the
kind of like
anniversary tour and all that.
yeah,
That was amazing. That seemed like it was a great tour for you guys.
it was amazing. It was great. Yeah, it's like a whole new chapter. It's like wow, okay, just realizing that like we can still do it and have some success still, and never thought we would 20 years after.
Yeah.
People
starting,
bringing their
but-
kids to shows and shit.
Cool.
a
Yeah,
whole new
seeing for the
generation.
first time, just hearing those
yeah,
songs. Yeah.
And even on that 20-year anniversary tour, I would ask the crowd every night, like, who's seen us before? And everybody, "Ooh," and then who's first time tonight? And it was like more than half the crowd usually.
Damn, it's
And
so
it's like, wow,
cool, man.
that's insane. You wouldn't think that would still be happening, but
yeah.
it's great.
Did you ever think about breaking up or quitting or anything?
I wish we would have officially broken up at some point.
Really?
Would've
Yeah,
been-
'cause some
for the
bands
comeback.
Some bands go away and then they come back bigger.
Yeah.
We just kind of like stopped doing shit and never like quit. But no,
We-
I don't think we ever thought about quitting. Like
Yeah.
We got along too well to
Yeah.
ever just be like, fuck this. you
we're
know?
all the
Same
same.
with us too, man. We're 30 years.
Yeah,
We never
like,
really
why
thought
would you
about
quit?
Yeah.
Maybe you won't do anything for a year or two or something. But it's
Totally.
like, but no, I think us being friends from the neighborhood and like. It was friendship first and just
Same with
and,
me, man.
And music came later, so there's no reason to ever not be in a band together. Whether or not we do anything, that doesn't matter. But
Yeah.
It would be like a pure business move,
Yeah.
That would be the only reason.
Yeah. People trip out that like I'm friends with all my band members. We talk all the time. We hang out off tour.
Yeah.
Like they're my brothers. It's like before and after this band.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like
It's important.
sometimes we'll hang out a lot. Sometimes we won't see each other for a couple months. But it's like whatever.
Yeah.
It's like no time passes once we're back together. Same
Yeah.
dudes.
Was there crazy pressure after Page Avenue for the record after that? And with
Yeah.
Determination, do you guys have pressure on yourselves to like have another hit record?
Yeah, and we dealt with it like children.
You did?
We
Yeah.
rebelled against our own success. is
There
what it
was
came
a
down to.
lot of-
Really?
Yeah.
And that was Steve Evans too. That wasn't
Yeah.
Feldy on that one. Yeah.
yeah. The label probably wanted us to go back with Feldy, and we could have. It would have been probably a good move. We would have done a similar record. It would have been probably just as successful, but we were scared a little bit of the success,
Yeah.
as fast as it started blowing up.
Yeah,
and it's like,
I can
holy shit,
imagine.
what the fuck is happening right now? And all of our cred points in our brain were like, we have to like do something heavier. We have to be cooler. We can't be on MTV all the time.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
stupid shit. We were too young to comprehend what was happening.
Punk rock
to us.
guilt shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, but either way, we talked to a bunch of producers. We met with Bob Rock. We met
Oh,
with
wow.
we met with like everybody, and like we could have done that record with anybody, but Steve Evans had done many of our favorite,
Mm-hmm.
punk rock and hardcore records. So his vibe was just so cool, and when we met together, it was like that's the perfect person. Let's make a punk rock kick-ass record, and let's just have fun.
Yeah.
And looking back, it wasn't the commercial best idea, but it is the reason we're happy as a band because we did exactly what we wanted to
That's
do.
incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't have the same success, but
Yeah.
but it's awesome. I love that.
I think we had a lot of like unjustified kind of false confidence of like, oh, we'll go back to doing this all ourselves, and rather than appreciating like the value of collaboration and someone having an objective view like Feldy did, he would just tear our songs apart and help us put them back together.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be like, "A part sucks. Don't do that." We'd be like, what
Damn.
the fuck do you mean? That's my favorite part. You know?
Yeah.
But you guys respect each other and you listened and
Yeah,
actually, yeah.
So, we tried to, like, when we did the album with Steve, it was a great experience, and I'm glad we did it. Like, we would go all get in a room, and even though we were only putting drums to track, we would all stand around as a band and play the songs together live. Every take that Josh did, we would be there with him, so we could get the vibe right. And Dan, even when he wouldn't sing, like, he'd do the first couple takes and leave it on tracks, and then not to, to avoid bleed into Josh's mics, he would just run around, just
jump around
That's
in the room.
Yeah.
Circle pit around the room.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
So all that shit was a great experience, and I'm
the
so glad
vibe was
we did
amazing.
It.
Yeah,
That's
it was
cool.
a great record, and Steve's fucking awesome. But we, I think we thought we could do anything, and it would be just as successful.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, maybe our idea of what is really cool is not mainstream.
We also tried to, like, with the first album, we did bring all these influences together and make it this, like, updated, fresh combination of those sounds.
Yeah.
But the stuff that we tried to mash up on the second album didn't meld together as well.
Gotcha.
Like, we went from, I don't know, whatever you would call Page Avenue, to me going more metal, Dan going even more punk rock, Ryan going even more like Eddie Van Halen, So it's
we
like
just took all of our favorite shit and tried to mash it all into one record,
so
it's very unique.
It wasn't with Feld either.
Yeah.
Because if you would have did that, he might have like, no, this is this.
He might have filtered it differently.
Totally. Yeah. And he had the relationship with him as well, so he could be more open about things, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
Steve would tell us every once in a while, but he was just all. I mean, it was cool. We were having fun, and he loved all.
Yeah.
He loved it all, and he was just like, "Fuck yeah, sounds great. It's cool as fuck. Let's do it."
I mean, looks like you guys toured for 2 years on on Page Avenue, though.
Pretty
It
nonstop.
doesn't come out to 2005. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we went straight back into the studio, and then toured for another 2 years on that record.
That's right. Because the other one came out in 2008, The Black Swan. Yeah. That was Feldy.
Well. Yeah, we went back with him for 4 songs on that because timing didn't work.
Oh, just 4, okay.
Because the timing didn't work out to do the whole record or money or something, it was one of those things. So we did 4 songs with Feldy again, and then went with a guy named Elvis Basquette for the rest of the record. And then he was awesome. He ended up doing the 4th record as well.
Okay.
But in between all that, Maverick had folded after our second record. So there was an extra year in there where we were just shopping labels and trying to figure out what to do, and that's when we ended up finally signing to Epitaph for the 3rd record.
That's right. Brett Gerwitz, the best, dude.
Yep. Yeah, Brett was awesome.
That must have been cool for you guys growing up listening to bands on Epitaph.
It was
and
like
stuff.
the best for me.
Yeah.
I was like, I love Bad Religion, and I was just like, Brett's on the phone, like from Bad Religion. Like you're talking to him right now,
Mr. Brett.
Yeah, Mr. Brett.
That's cool.
So yeah, that was a great experience. They were really cool, but that was just a 2-record deal. So and then we moved on from that as well. But
just to have that on your roster, though, on your resume, on Epitaph, it's like.
And labels were so much more important than like what label you on mattered.
Yeah.
You were
like
sellouts
now,
before they even heard the record.
Yeah.
You're on a major label, it didn't matter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now people don't even fucking know if you're on a
They
label
don't
or
even care.
it doesn't matter.
I know, it's so weird. Nobody cares anymore. I love that.
It's so
back
weird.
then you had to like fight. No. Like it's
Yeah.
message boards, just all that shit. Sell out, just all that fucking corny shit.
So whatever remained
even
of our,
harder
like,
for you guys than in those
Totally,
years
bro.
before even us.
Dude.
'Cause,
Now people
you guys
got-
did the opposite. You were on Epitaph and then went to a major label.
And
We
that-
went from major to Epitaph.
And I did a post of that major label record yesterday. It was like 500 comments, and everything's positive about this record that people shit on so hard in 2001. I'm like,
Yeah.
where were you fucking people back then?
Yeah.
Everybody got this game changed. My first record, like, it's crazy when you think something's so bad and then other people love it. I don't know.
Yeah.
20 years later, I
the
guess.
timing of it. Yeah. We were even talking about that, how different Go was than everything before that. But
It's just
really,
the
it's not. It's
Well, it's the production.
just
yeah,
the perception of it was so much different mainly because of the label, which didn't fucking matter.
And Matt
It's
Wallace produced it, and we loved him because Replacements and Faith No
Yeah.
More. He was like a dream producer. But just like, it was just, if Chad Gilbert produced that, it would just sound like the rest of our records, which I wish I did that, knowing how great Chad was.
Yeah.
Because he produced Nothing to Prove.
Yeah,
That was
Nothing
his
to Prove
first
is-
album he's ever produced.
I fucking love that record.
Thank
But
you.
Yeah.
It's
I
my
love all
favorite
your
record.
records,
Thank you.
But
But those songs hold up in our set list.
Yeah.
Those Go ones, but it's like, it was just so overproduced. I didn't write one lyric on the whole record, bro.
Whoa.
Really?
I was so tapped out. I didn't want to leave Epitaph. I don't want to go on a major label.
Ah.
I talk about all the time on this fucking podcast. People are over it. I was just so checked out, man. I let my brother and Rusty take the rails of that whole record, man. It's crazy,
yeah,
bro.
sometimes you gotta
It's pretty wild,
switch
dude.
it up, but
And I don't regret it. I would just love to re-record it someday. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I know bands do that. You guys did that too. Did you guys do that or talk about doing it?
We
Page
did,
Avenue
we did a
re-recorded?
reimagining thing of it, like
That's-
kind of acoustic,
Yeah.
more stripped down
yeah,
versions.
Yeah.
For our 10-year anniversary. Yeah, which turned out really cool.
Was it fun to do that?
Yeah, it was weird,
I know.
but cool. Yeah,
I know.
but we
Kinda
didn't want to
could
do
do
it
that.
like a direct re-recording because that would be impossible to capture the same.
Sick of it all. Did
whatever
that
it
one of
is.
the records. It sounds pretty good. I forgot which one
Yeah.
it was. We recorded the whole record.
Yeah, I mean, it
interesting.
depends on if the production is really bad, then yes, you could do that. But like
Yeah.
Page Avenue, it sounds great, John.
No, it sounds
Feldman's
great.
a fucking amazing producer. So
It's a great record.
There's
When I
no
was
way we're gonna go back and beat that.
Yeah. Listening to that song, preparing to sing with you guys, even though I probably fucked it up. That record sounds so good, dude. It's such a great sounding record, man.
It was ahead of its time as far as the
For
production. It scared us when it came out, or
Really?
when he first showed it to us, because we were like, we don't sound this good. Like, this is too polished. It was,
How are we gonna do this live?
yeah.
Exactly.
And it took a little while to get used to it. But after years and years, everybody started sounding like that, and the record's caught, now if every note's not perfect and every fucking snare's not exactly the same velocity, it's like, now people are like so used to this polished, poppy kind of punk record now, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were people calling you guys sellouts back there, or tripping on what labels you're on, any of that stuff, or no?
not really, because
Yeah.
we just came out on Maverick, which
Kind of sick.
wasn't technically Warner Brothers, so it sounded like it wasn't as major as
Yeah.
Warner,
Yeah.
but it was
But
just
to come
Warner
out like
Brothers.
that first is way different. It's
yeah,
so much,
it was never really an issue.
But we were
for us.
so concerned about it, so scared. Even the
Really?
idea of like releasing a single before the album came out, like we wanted to tour a full year before anything that would like push us towards mainstream, because we didn't want people to think that we just came out of nowhere. You
Yeah.
know, that we wanted to be established as a touring band that had this like
yeah.
grassroots thing, and it's part of it's the punk rock thing, and part of it's like, growing up as 90s kids, like all those grunge bands who were essentially, punk adjacent, had the
Totally.
same kind of like mindset where if you weren't a band that came from a garage onto an indie label and spent years, developing before the major label thing, you were a bunch of fucking sellouts.
Yeah.
And we were terrified of it,
Damn.
So
We had so much shit just drilled into our heads about
Yeah.
what you had to do.
Well, you
know?
get so much pressure on yourself.
That's so
Yeah.
weird. Like
Or these
that's
rules
fucking,
of this box you had to stay in.
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah.
Like,
yeah,
yeah.
That's the cool thing about music now. Like
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
There's
dude.
no rules now. People just fucking put something out the day they record it, and you're like,
Yeah.
here's the fucking song. Listen to it.
Even just the sound, like some of these bands have like pop sensibility. Even Turnstile, one of my favorites, they have like
Yeah.
a 311 vibe to them.
Yeah.
They have all these different like influences that they're not afraid to show.
Yeah.
And they're still a hardcore band to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
absolutely.
nobody's afraid to show. It's like there's no more guilty pleasures, I guess.
yeah,
Mhm.
Like,
yeah, because everybody listens to all kinds of music now. It's like
yeah.
Yeah.
it's okay to listen to
It's a
hip hop
beautiful
and
time. Yeah.
punk rock and pop, and it's like
And then like
that
Turnstile,
wasn't allowed 25
Yeah.
years ago.
Turnstile touring with like Suicide Boys and these different diverse
Yeah.
Yeah.
bills that are happening and all this stuff. It's crazy, man.
We were really concerned with what other bands would think, even more than fans. Like,
Really?
our influences, like, we wanted to be able to tour with hardcore bands and metal bands and have their respect. So that was as much on our minds as anything. you know?
Yeah.
Even like you guys, like the credibility that having you and Ray on our album and bringing Hazen Street out gave us, made us feel like, fuck, we did it.
Damn.
You know?
We're so cool, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. Yes.
So-
I'm honored to be on your record too, because that actually put me into like a whole world of people that may not know about H2O too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was awesome.
Dude, have you ever seen, there's a tab book, guitar tab book of Page Avenue, and some of the lyrics aren't
Nobody's
right.
seen this, so there's no way he's
Really?
But this is funny. This is good.
So since, H2O Go isn't in the lyrics, right?
Yeah.
It's not written in the lyrics, it's not in the liner notes. They, since they're notating everything, every note, every word, they had to put a lyric there in the tab book. And I guess whoever did it at like, Herbert Washington Tab Company or whatever the fuck it was called, didn't know H2O. It says Ace Do, Deux, well go.
Ace do well go.
What?
That's what it says in our tab book.
Unless you know, you probably know what the hell I'm saying. Like I'm yelling about Ace, dude. Wow.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
I
gonna get
doubt
that tattooed on me. That's sick.
Yeah, Ace do well. That's your new band name.
So people can find that somewhere or no?
I don't think they still sell tab books, do they? I mean, that would just be
Probably on Amazon somewhere. Yeah.
That was like
Hal
20
Leonard tab.
Hal
Is that what
Leonard.
it called?
Yeah, I think
that old
yeah.
shit you buy at the piano store or whatever.
So the Wicked Determination came out. It was good. You guys loved it. It wasn't big as the one before that.
Yeah,
You toured like crazy on
like
it.
we were just touring the whole time, so
Yeah.
it was still fine. It was successful. The shows didn't really suffer. Like we just
Yeah.
kept going hard, and it didn't have the same commercial success. But
Especially because then at that point, we were going to some places overseas that we had never been.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
we were still on the momentum of Page Avenue.
Yeah.
So we started doing well in other countries that compensated for like the slow decline of the U.S. situation.
Okay.
Like,
Did you feel a real decline though in the U.S. after that?
I don't know, a little bit, but
It was slow, but
it wasn't too bad yet. Because then when we put out the next record, the Black Swan,
Yep.
the
Wake Up single.
I feel like
Mhm.
it like everybody got re-excited again. It was still cool. Like the U.S. did good. We did really good on Warped Tour that year.
yeah.
Oh, that's 2008. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We didn't feel much until the fourth record. Then it kind of slowed down.
Constant.
The
Yeah.
Constant.
Yeah.
That's whenever that record we kind of went right back in the studio, kind of phoned it in a little bit. Like we weren't ready to make a record yet. And we have very ill feelings towards that record because of
so it's like the Go record for me.
Yeah,
Perfect. Yeah.
it's just where the place our band was at the time. You know, it wasn't
Do
our
you play any of those songs ever again on live?
not really.
Same.
We might someday.
I do
but
a couple. Yeah.
Yeah.
The difference is Go's a great album,
Thank you.
and The
Well,
Constant
to
is
us,
not.
a lot of people tell us the Constant's great.
yeah,
as
that
well,
could be
you know?
somebody's
It's
first
just
record with you.
the way we
Yeah.
experienced
No,
it
I mean,
was
story of the
different.
year. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I
The Constant.
and I don't hate it. It's just it was a weird time for us, and that's
Yeah.
whenever things just
I feel you, bro.
and that matters when you're in the band.
It
You know,
really
you have
does.
to
When
really
your fucking
feel.
head's not there. You're
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
you know, it's like,
You have to be fully committed to what you're doing, or else, it's just not right.
yeah,
But,
you're dialing in. And you're like, it's like half-ass.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when it came out, you weren't psyched.
I mean, it was fine at first, but yeah, we realized, wow, this is probably not as good as it should be, and
The thing that really, like,
You know, I don't know.
You know the feeling of writing new songs, no matter what. Like the latest thing, you're into it because it comes from the feeling of creating something.
Yeah,
right?
you're like so psyched on
So you're
everything you
stoked.
knew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's our
And we-
best record. I'm so psyched.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we did have a few good moments that I think are still good moments on that album. And we were super psyched about it. We showed it to Epitaph, and I remember telling Brett, like, dude, this is our best record. It's going to be so sick. And he just kind of looked at us and goes,
and then
and that was it.
then he had no more interaction on that record.
And he
Yes.
never saw him.
And then
again.
we were like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, this record might not be very good. Shit.
Yeah.
ah, damn.
So that was the first indicator. That
At least he was
I-
honest.
I don't know if that's why. Maybe he was doing other shit. I don't know. But
wow.
Yeah. He's like, you think?
That's crazy. That's
Yeah.
so like a week before Thick in the Water was coming out, Brett told us he was going to rehab, and I was at his house up in the hills, and he was like, I gave him like the first like H2O license plate shirt with Epitaph Eating East Coast on the back. He loved it.
yeah.
And the next day he was going to rehab. He's like, you can still stay here. And me and my wife stayed at his crib, and he went away for the first time. But he wasn't around when that record came out.
Ah.
It's a pretty intense time, man.
Yeah.
But he turned his whole shit around, obviously. But like, yeah, that was a crazy moment. Like, okay, now you're not going to be here when this thing comes out.
Yeah,
And
and that was a big deal
Yeah.
for you guys then. Yeah.
totally, dude. So like, that was a interesting time with Brett, man. So he was like, and so the record came out Epitaph, and it wasn't.
I mean, it was fine. It didn't do real great, but
It did terribly.
Yeah,
I love your pause. I love
I
you're so
don't know.
optimistic about it.
it was fine. I didn't cry myself to sleep.
We all
No.
have that shit though. It's
Yeah.
like it's crazy, man.
It's hard to look back now because I don't really care now because we've done things in
Yeah,
Yeah.
but back then you really care.
yeah.
Care what people think, care what it's going to do, care about your career.
Yeah, because
Surviving.
every moment is so important, always in the
100%,
moment, and then
yeah.
you look back and you're like, oh well, who cares if it did good or not? It's like
Yeah.
that was the point in our career
Because you're still okay and you're
yeah,
still playing.
it is
Yeah.
what it is, But
But it seems so important.
But we were at a point where, like we talked about before, the scene had moved on.
Yeah.
So we were opening for bands that were younger than us. Like we opened for The Devil Wears Prada. We opened for Flyleaf.
And that's a whole different feeling too. Doing
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was just like we were playing for bands.
It's
that were-
humbling. Not that you guys are unhumble, but it's still like you're playing for these new
Yeah,
bands.
they were younger than us
Yeah.
that we didn't even know, and we're just like, oh my god, we're not even big enough to play. It's like, what are we doing?
I hear
Weird
you,
times,
man. No,
I'm
I hear
sure
you,
you've done
dude.
a lot of that over the
Oh,
years
yeah.
too. And also, I don't care about that. That's fine, but it's just.
But back then,
But the meeting of these two things, the record
Of
just not
course.
doing well, and all that happening, it was like, oh
you're like,
fuck,
damn,
what are we
nobody
doing?
cares. Yeah.
Mhm.
So then we
Exactly.
kind of went away for a little while.
Yeah, like we're about to play the Palladium and we're like mid of this whole bill of like Drains headlining, Terra, Angel Dust, Ended, all these amazing hardcore bands. I'm so psyched to be on it that people asked us to be on it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
and we're not playing. We're playing like fourth from the top, but like it's the Palladium, and it's gonna be a great show. But like, I'm just still psyched to be playing
Yeah.
and playing with these new bands. But I know what you're saying though.
Well, yeah. Eventually, you get over that middle slump, and then you're just grateful that you have this thing that you can still do. Any success is so totally awesome now. And yeah, I'm happy to play anywhere on any bill if it's like, cool, let's do it. Can
Exactly.
we make some money to do it? Cool, let's fucking do it. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, when I was before Hazen Street and H2O Go, we had like 7-year hiatus. We put no music out. We were totally burnt.
Mm-hmm.
I got a job working for Golden Voice because this prick Junior was born. And I'm loading gear for all these bands who are taking pictures with me. I'm on stage carrying their gear. I'm unloading their vans. Like, why are you clapping my podcast? Go, say goodbye. All right. And peace, Max. Have a good night at work. Love you. Basically loading gear for all these bands that like used to play with us. Like, what are you doing? Like, I became a dad. You have to pay my bills.
Yeah.
It was very... It was an interesting time, man.
I guess, it's very similar because, we were kind of burnt, just took those years off and, have to figure out ways to make money and what to do. Yeah,
because then you're off the road and then you're like...
Did some other bands and shit in the meantime.
And it's like, when you're on tour, people come to see you, they love your music, they're singing along, and then you go home and it's like, your wife's like, yo, do the dishes or take the baby, change the diapers. Now you're back to reality where like, not that you don't matter as much, but it's like, why your wives keep you in check for sure. Though.
It's hard having the mindset of a band guy and like having to be out and be like, fuck yeah, I'm fucking,
and then, but also
I'm killing it.
Then being domestic and becoming a dad and being responsible and fucking,
it's a different world.
You can't count on the music. You have to get other income in other ways. It's like, it's two different worlds. It's such a where people think it's so glamorous and it's fucking all this other stuff and the highs and the lows are this could be very low at points.
Yeah. The other thing is even when it is glamorous and everything's working, it's like, it's not a job that you go clock into that you hate for 8 hours, but it's grueling. Touring 9 months out of the year is grueling, and even if you're at your peak, like you're missing a lot of things. Like
so much.
I've never been to one of my nephew's birthday parties ever. Like his entire childhood, never went to a single one. You know what I mean? I missed my best friend from high school that I said, I met freshman year. We like Metallica. When he got engaged, he's like, I want you to be in my wedding. And I said, sick. As long as we're not playing TV or somewhere out of the country, I'm there. Lo and behold, our first offer to go to Japan was on his wedding weekend.
Oh, man.
So shit like that.
Every wedding, so you missed them all.
Weddings, funerals, everything. Dude.
Yeah.
Birthdays. Anniversaries, it's sacrifice, man.
Yeah, so it's, and a lot of people say like, oh, poor you, you got to do this. And it's like, yeah, it's amazing, but not without cost.
Yeah, 100%.
It's all worth it, but it's not easy.
Did we skip over Wolves? How'd that record do? You happy with that, 2017?
That did fine. We put that one out ourselves. We did like a crowdfunded kind of thing for that.
Oh, that's right, okay.
And
that's cool.
Which was cool because we were at that point where it was like, should we still be a band? What do we do?
And that's the fans supporting you too. Like literally, that's
and as
really
soon
cool.
as we put the crowdfund thing up, like it over 100%, like within 24 hours, and we were like, oh shit,
that's sick.
So it was nice. A really cool record, and we wrote it very organically, just ourselves, mainly just kind of me and Ryan, because we weren't all getting in a room playing it at that point. So we would just send demos back and forth, and it was very much just like, let's make an artistic, fun record, and it's really cool. I love the lyrics because I had just had both my kids. I don't know if my second kid was born yet, but had a whole different mindset on stuff to write lyrics about, and just like I love it as far as that standpoint. It didn't do a whole lot because we put it out ourselves and didn't get pushed very hard at all. But a lot of fans really love it. It's got its place in our discography for sure, and I love it. But
that's nice.
And I wasn't in the band during that time. So, So it was actually awesome for me to be able to hear my own band as a fan. And Ryan the whole time would be like, dude, I got to send you this demo. And I'd be like, nope, shut up. Don't
you still want to hear it or nothing.
Yeah, don't fuck up this opportunity for me to hear my own band.
Wow.
Like a fan. So
that's sick.
I got the CD, like a compact disc, went downstairs, my studio monitors, put it in, and like sat there with the beer.
How did you get a compact disc?
I had to get it from one of you guys.
Why did I call it a compact disc?
It's such a weird,
So I put the CD in and like sat there with a drink and just listened to the whole album and read the liner notes like it was the fucking 90s,
Wow.
And it was the most surreal,
like
cool
a fan
experience
almost,
Yeah. And then, I rejoined the band 2 months
Did you
later.
like the record?
Loved it.
Awesome.
And that was the best part because like we were in such weird places when I left the band in terms of like not necessarily being on the same page. And I'm like, what are we going to do that's going to be relevant? Like, how the fuck are we going to do this? And then they dropped like the first song I heard and I was like, oh, it's still possible, And then the album was sick and I was so pumped.
That's cool, man.
Rejoining and getting to learn the songs and play them was amazing.
It was our confirmation that, okay, we can still do this. And yes, we should go a little harder on this thing again. And then that led up to the next record, Tear Me to Pieces.
Yep.
And that's when we really were like, we got to sign to a label again. We have to go and like really make it happen. And so Wolves was kind of the stepping stone to get back to where we are now.
That's cool, man.
Which is cool.
20 years later. It's it's amazing, man.
It's crazy.
And then the last single was the real life single. Was that March 2023?
That was from Tear Me to Pieces.
Yep.
That was the first single we put out for that.
And that was around when we were young. Came out around that time.
Yeah, I think we put it out right. We kind of planned that out. We're like,
Smart.
all right, we're doing this big thing. Let's put out a single before. And it worked great. That record has been received really well. And 3 of like our top 5 on Spotify are all from the new record, which is crazy.
Cool. Wow,
that's never happened in our career, you know.
Wow, dude.
To beat out, our classic songs that people have been listening to for 20 years. So like it's really reacting with the fans, and we love it. So that's a cool thing to have after all these years.
Oh yeah, dude.
Still have something that's connecting. It's awesome.
I want to make a record with my son on drums, I think, soon, because it's been like 7 years since the last record. So I think it's time. It'd be fun to like do an EP or something, you know.
I'm ready. I'm ready for some new H2O.
Thank you. I still see. I still get royalties from the record I sang on. Sweet. I still see it in my BMI and stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Get like $7 every couple years.
Like 65 cents a year. And then you had a band too, the Fuck Off and Dies at one point too.
Yeah, just a fun punk rock project with me and a couple friends from St. Louis.
I like the one album titled Dear Liver.
Yeah.
Dear Liver is crazy title.
This was well after my straight edge days, obviously, because most of our songs are about partying and being idiots.
Oh, that's right. You were straight edge. You have the 3 X's in your hand. That's right.
Yeah, I spent my youth being a straight edge man until about 26 or 7.
So you were straight edge your whole life until 26?
Yep.
Wow, dude. It's kind of crazy. Those are formative years, so it probably helped you.
I love it. It was a great thing, for our band and just for us. Like, really, we were all, like, Adam was straight edge for a long time in that period, too. And even the guys who drank, like, we were just so focused on music all the time. So, it was a good thing for me, but,
So 26 was your first beer or anything?
Something like that, 26 or 7, yeah.
Wild, man.
Yep.
What about you? Were you straight edge younger, too?
I got drunk for the first time when I was like 13.
Okay,
so I like kind of like partied in high school, and then like I had a couple shitty experiences. So from like I want to say like 19 to 25, 26-ish, something like that, 25, fully straight edge. So like he's saying, that was the time that we really like hustled.
Yeah.
And when we would rage, we were out doing fucked up stuff, like always with a video camera. Video camera.
It was like just skateboarding, and then like filming shit, and then band practice. So we didn't have time to fucking worry about anything else.
Yeah.
Like that was partying to us, at that point. So it was great. And then at some point I was like, I'll be fine if I drink occasionally. It'll be fine. And that's not to say I haven't wilded out and acted like an ass bag in the years
ass bag,
since.
I love that shit.
But yeah, I'm fine. And at this point, like I don't really drink much, like unless we're on tour.
Yeah.
So
it's a time passer at least
on tour and stuff. Yeah.
It's more like for me, it's like we go out and play a show. Like I have to get my mind into like party mode. Like we used to listen to heavy music and get all like on fire before
pumped and shit. Yeah.
But now it's more like we just want to have a good time. So to like just elevate the mood, couple drinks, whatever.
Yeah.
Hip hop before the show always
nice.
Can't listen to heavy shit right before
What kind of hip hop you guys listening to? Getting pumped for?
90s,
a lot of classic
shit.
Yeah.
Not just Nelly, but some other shit.
Sometimes Nelly. Always Outkast. That happens
nice.
constantly.
That's a good area.
A lot of old school
90s
Dre
stuff.
And Snoop and stuff. Yeah.
I'm gonna help you get those X's lasered off your hands. For
yeah,
you,
man.
Though. I got you.
Slowly.
Lasers.
I'll get like a RIP straight edge tattoo somewhere else.
You're about to get your neck tattooed though. That's
yes,
awesome.
Tomorrow.
The wifey's cool with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not job stoppers anymore.
She wants me to have, at this point, it's like, why not?
Yeah, you've been in the band this many years. You can do the fuck
like,
you want.
I want to get my neck and my hands done eventually. Again.
You are?
Yeah.
What about you? Get your hands or neck done?
No,
Adam?
I think my neck's too long. You know what I mean?
You're a pretty sick neck, yeah. You got a cool neck.
Like my legs too. Like I feel like it just look like, what's it look like if you tattoo a bird? You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's true.
So I definitely want to, do the rest. I also have some shit I want to laser. But
yeah, he's gonna take his One Life One Chance off his arm, not because he doesn't love us no more, just because there's no way it looks on there. It's like the way he did the arms. Yeah, it's interesting.
God, I want to redo it on one arm, but at the same time, like
I was happy when I saw you got that. Thank you for that.
Hey, yeah,
we're gonna get it fixed up.
I have and I have another one
do it properly.
And I've got the 5-year one over here. I've got my friends look out for me like family.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I can take some pictures of these after.
So and it's old and decrepit by now, but
it's nice.
We're trying not to kiss your ass too hard.
Nah, dude, I love
the
you
thing
guys.
is though, like, like I said, I was a metal kid, and like my favorite bands are, I have like a weird, diverse kind of few favorite bands.
What you got? What are they?
Like the stuff I grew up on, my first stuff that was mine, Metallica, Pantera,
Sick.
but then Outkast, No Doubt, Propagandhi,
Wow.
and He's Legend, this band, band that we've been friends with forever. Those
That's
are
a good mix, man.
But
nice,
the Beatles
palette.
ultimately are like my favorite band.
Beatles are everybody.
They're like
Yeah,
in
yeah.
another tier, so I
Yeah.
don't count them in the same way.
Wow.
But so like I didn't discover you guys until Dan, like I said before, and I know all of your albums, I know every song, but you guys are in I connected with your band differently. I don't walk around saying like, yeah, I'm a huge H2O fan. It's more like your message, your lyrics, like just that, the whole outlook, I connected with so much. Like I don't have any other band tattoos. Well, I have this No Doubt tattoo, but
Oh, I can see a picture of that too.
I don't have any other band tattoos, but I connected so much with the sentiment of just all of your lyrics, basically.
Thank you.
And the time, like your lyrics and a few others were like kind of the anthemic for us, and in terms of like motivation and who we were and what our path was going to be as a band. So it made sense. If I'm going to get any words tattooed on me, it's going to be something like that.
Awesome. I'm honored. Thank you, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
And with No Doubt too. I love No Doubt as well. I just saw them at Coachella. I went out there to go see Tony and their first show back. It was unreal, dude. I was like in the crowd like a kid. It was like
I saw a video. It looked
dude,
awesome.
they were incredible, man.
They looked so happy. It was.
I know, dude. It sounded so good. They played like a cover song. I forgot the Specials cover song. Maybe it was just great.
Yeah.
Really nice to see them up there because Tony's my friend. I know he's wanted this for so long, and then Dream Card has played at some sold out shows out here, and
they're great. They're great.
I know.
It's so great to see them too. Like, seeing Dream Car after No Doubt had been gone for so long.
Yeah.
I connected so much with watching those dudes up there just smiling, playing music again.
100%, dude.
And because that wasn't long after I had rejoined the band.
Yep.
So like that feeling of being back in it, I could see it on their faces.
Just seeing Tony's face on the Jumbotron, like smiling and jumping around, like it was everything, dude. It was worth that hellish mission to Coachella, which I'll never go to again. I was there for like 15 hours. It like took years off my life, dude.
Dude, my wife and I, when we heard that they were going to play a show, because like we had the same social media dude, so he's like,
"Oh wow,
you're going to get some great news today," and and I was like, "What? What is it? What is it?" And then they announced they're playing a show, and they hadn't said what it was yet. And my wife and I were like, "Dude, anything but Coachella," and we're there. And then it was fucking Coachella.
I know, man. I'm praying and putting it out there like I did when I had Tony on this podcast. We talked I said, you guys will play again one day. I put that out in the world. I think they'll play again. I'm hoping, man.
Hung out with
Was
Gabe.
that just a one-off thing for them for now?
Yeah, just 2 shows, yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Hung out with Gabe McNair a bunch because, Gwen was supposed to play that hip-hop and R&B festival in Vegas.
Yeah.
So we were out there for that, and I had met him like...
Did she play it?
The whole thing got canceled.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
The Wind.
Yeah.
But hung out with him a bunch because we had met, because he played with Goldfinger, he played with Sublime, our old tech worked for Sublime, so we had met. And, he plays horns and keyboard, no doubt. And talked about everything forever. And all the stuff we're talking about now, the ups and downs of bands.
Totally.
So I'm saying, crossing my fingers that they do it.
They got to be so inspired from that. I was talking to Tony. He was like, I saw him backstage. He was so emotional. It's a lot, man, to take in.
Yeah.
Just seeing the rehearsals leading up to it, them in the studio together, then fucking those incredible songs, dude. Like,
you think about a band like that is like legendary, and Gwen doing her thing took them to a
which
whole
is great
other level.
too. The solo stuff's great. Yeah.
Yeah, but they have 4 albums. Isn't that wild? Like they've
it's
been around
not many,
since '95.
Yeah, it's true.
Wow.
All bangers though.
5. You count EPs and stuff.
I like the last one too.
Yeah, there were some great moments on that thing.
Yeah.
But
great band though.
Mainstream major label albums 4. Isn't that fucking weird?
That is kind of crazy.
And
when I talk to bands like you guys who have like so many records out, I'm like, damn, we're lazy as fuck. We've been 30 years. We have like 7 albums or 6 albums. It's like, and
we don't even have that many compared to a lot of our friends and bands. As we took 7 years off in between a couple of things. So
we feel a little behind in some
ways. I think we have 6 or no. 6? Yeah, 6.
Yeah.
Jason, it's strung out on here. They have so many records.
Yeah, they have a lot of records.
How do you even time? It's crazy. I respect it though. It's like your work, man. Your work ethic's sick.
Yeah.
You had a band, Destroy, Rebuild, Until God Knows. That's the name of the band?
Drugs, Till God Shows.
Till God Shows. Yeah, Till God Shows. Sorry,
that was yeah.
Oh, Drugs. Oh, shit, it's got that. I was like, that's a long-ass name for a band.
It was called Drugs at first. It's a backronym, where like the label was like, you guys should probably make this into something else. I don't think drugs, like, at that point, 2011, whatever, like,
build into God shows.
getting a band on a bill called Drugs was going to be tough. But
now it's a band called Drug Church.
Oh, well,
yeah. I like Drug Church.
And Coke Bust. A bunch of this really is the name.
Yeah.
Different time.
Yeah.
But yeah, so John Feldman was working with Chiodos, and
sick band.
Craig Owens got kicked out of that band for reasons that became obvious later. But Feldy was like, we should still do something together. And, he had become friends with Pete Wentz in the time. In the meantime, and Pete was a big Chiodos fan. So Pete's like, look, man, I'll take you to the label, to management, everything. We're going to make an album somehow.
Yeah.
So basically assembled that band. It became the super group, which was Craig from Chiodos, Aaron Stern from Matchbook Romance on drums, Matt Good from First to Last, Nick Martin from Underminded, who's been in Sleeping with Sirens since then for years.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I joined last. And they, wrote the album together, bit by bit. Feldman was basically like, the fifth, sixth band member.
The mastermind.
Yeah, and made this amazing album. We were still touring up until like the very end of it, so I came in and recorded a couple songs. But then we proceeded to go on tour and do some amazing big tours. And I love the album. It's great.
You did some crazy tours?
Yeah, we did some really cool shit. And we went overseas right away. We went and played Download in Europe.
That's awesome.
Did a European tour. We did what's that festival in Australia where they did the Soundwave?
Soundwave.
Right before that, dude.
Shit went under.
Yeah.
Shit got crazy.
We did it together. Yeah, you had to double play.
Yeah.
Wow, he did. Oh, that's crazy.
So it was...
that thing crashed and burned after that. I remember that.
That dude went to jail.
He did?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Fraud and shit.
Ours was like the Soundwave Revolution. It was like the other one, but Van Halen was supposed to headline it, right?
Well, they were trying...
Something crazy. I remember that.
Something like that.
They were trying to book Van Halen and then announced it with them on the bill before they even confirmed it. And Van Halen was like...
We were like, fuck yeah, we're going to play Van Halen. That's cool.
It was like Firefest.
Yeah. They were like, no, we didn't confirm that shit. So they reworked it into this thing that was kind of half-assed. But All Time Low was on it. Yellow Card was on it.
Yeah, that was fun. It was a good tour. But yeah.
Yeah. So we did some cool stuff with that band, but it ultimately imploded for the same reasons that I'll say off mic.
Yeah.
But those, Aaron Stern, Matt Good, and Nick are like brothers to me.
That's awesome.
Like we have a trauma bond.
Yeah. Trauma.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up with the Page Avenue Crew podcast?
Oh, that was fun.
Fell off.
Yeah, we started that during COVID because we couldn't do anything.
Totally.
So it was a way for us to get together every week, or whether Zoom or together, depending on what part of the pandemic was.
Cool concept. I think it's cool.
We just started talking, explaining old tour stories and just being idiots.
Yeah.
There was no real structure. It was just us being like,
talking.
fuck yeah, dude, you remember that time? Yeah, that's fucking
reminiscing.
Great.
We might not play again because of the pandemic.
Yeah. And it was really cool. But then once we started getting busy again, it's like we just don't really have time to focus on it.
You did 3 live streams too, like of each record, the first 3 records or something?
Yeah, that was super fun.
Yeah.
Those are fun. Those are weird, but they were fun to do those during the pandemic.
But it was cool to have to learn every song, because even though we play a lot of those songs, to learn 3 full records it was crazy.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Homework.
What's funny though is like
the deep cuts.
Even though we like went all out with production, like we have a friend who works at a production house, a live production house in St. Louis. So they weren't doing shows, so all of their equipment, the LED wall, all the lighting was at their disposal in their warehouse.
Oh, that's sick.
So we set up there.
It looks amazing. All the live streams.
It's like $1 million worth of equipment that we got to do in this thing. But despite that, it was like we were playing a hall show because we were just on the floor with like the 8 dudes that were working on it.
That's cool.
Just playing for them, and like fully going for it like we were playing a real live show. And then between songs, just saying the dumbest shit possible because we were just laughing at ourselves, It's
like, okay, so...
Was that during the lockdowns and everything, right?
Right in the middle of it, yeah.
Crazy time, man. What a surreal time.
God, it's like weird to look back on that. Like that actually happened.
I know, there's so many years gone. It just seems so surreal, man.
Weird.
Yeah.
And like they never mentioned music when that was coming back. We were like the lowest on the totem pole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like what was important. I feel like music was so important at that time.
Yeah. And a lot of bands made records during that time.
They did.
And it worked. And
they did.
That was our time to like regroup and be like, okay, if this does come back, we have to start focusing on the band. And that's kind of what led us to going more full time now that we can again.
Yeah,
When
'cause
it goes away, you're like, oh shit, I shouldn't take this
that
for
was
granted.
a scary time. It's like, is this ever coming back?
Yeah.
Or like, not that I didn't appreciate it, but I was like, damn, this is like,
Makes you think about it.
yeah. And the
different.
first time being home in the summer in like 20 years with my wife, like just get out of the house because they should be on tour, like doing festivals or something.
Yeah.
It was a really strange time, dude.
And it fucks with your head when you look back, like the math of like, wait, weren't we in so and so a couple years ago? Like, no, that was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
because
know?
we lost
Skip
those
over
couple
those.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was the word they were using? I'm not relevant, but there was a word they were using that was the most important things of that time that were allowed to happen. But I know music was not one of them. I was like, dude.
Oh yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
But music was, and when it came back so strong.
Mm-hmm.
There's bands like Speed who started like in Australia during the pandemic. Now they're big as ever coming out. They played no shows until after the pandemic, but started in the pandemic online. You
Wow.
can see all their videos.
Yeah.
Like the biggest Australian hardcore band now.
That's awesome.
Dude, the shit
Crazy.
also that like in the early days when we were just starting to lighten up the restrictions and shit,
Yeah.
people were so hungry for any kind of music.
Dude.
We did this emo night thing in Vegas, and we were one of like only a couple bands that actually played, but then there were a couple where it was a singer and a drummer, or it's just a singer and a guitar
That's
player,
it.
and everything else was on tracks, and no one cared because they were just so hungry to
So
see a
happy
show.
to see-
Fuck yeah.
It was so amazing to start playing after that. It was like a nervous going on stage for the first time, and
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
should I wear a mask on stage? Is how big's the barricade? Like,
Right? Yeah.
I hate barricades, but I was so psyched to have a barricade just
Yeah,
to
for the first time.
totally. But after that, it's just like, what's happening, man?
Yeah.
And not knowing if we're gonna play, and like, I don't know. It's just that's what you guys were reminiscing on that podcast
Yeah.
about those days.
And we really tried to, or I was trying to make it a real podcast in many ways, you know.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big podcast listener.
Yeah.
And these guys really aren't as much. So it was tough to rein it all in. I really wanted to have like real guests and stuff, and trying to figure
Yeah.
out the remote thing. Like I wanted to have you on.
That'd been
We had a
sick.
couple friends that it was hard to keep it together. And then once we started doing other things, the other three were like, nah, I don't feel like doing it.
It was super fun when we needed it, but
Yeah.
it was like if we're gonna all put our efforts into something, for all of us to have to be there. If it's one person, it's a little easier to organize and get people to show up. But
Yeah.
it was like our whole band, so it was taking away from us being able to do other things at some point. So it's like, all right, let's just not worry about it.
Yeah. They need to thank the Maker podcast.
Yeah.
Did that start around the same time?
That
Star Wars?
probably 6 months before. It was a pandemic project as
Yeah.
well. So Ryan Key from Yellow Card
That's
and
still going, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
220th episode ish.
Awesome,
Coming up.
dude.
So we originally just wanted to do just like a movie pop culture podcast, just movies. You know, we'd talk about probably like all the shit we grew up on.
Yeah.
You know, Star Wars, Indiana Jones, Die Hard, Top Gun, like all the like
Classics.
classic shit for
Yeah.
us. And then the day before Ryan and I were going to record the first episode, he called me. I was at work at the mall. And he's like, I have an idea. You're going to fucking kill me. I know we're doing this tomorrow, but what if we just make it only a Star Wars podcast?
Damn.
And I was like, I mean, that would be awesome, but is there enough shit to talk about? How do we sustain that? You know, we've got like 10 movies at this point, 11 movies, whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, well, so-and-so's coming up. We got this. There's all those books. If we want to go, we can do a lot. It's like, fuck it, let's do it. So we did the first episode, kind of told our backstory, and then did one movie at a time. And then, you know, with Disney and everything, there's just more and more content coming out.
So much now.
And we got Nick from Bayside
Yep.
on as a guest, and you know, we were here in town. We were at his house in Orange County. Ryan and I got in the car, and on the drive out, we were like, just looked at each other like, he's probably the dude. He should probably be our
That's what he
third
told me.
host.
Yeah.
And it just all fell into place. And then through it, I met this dude, Mike Forrester, who he has kind of like he's a graphic designer. He's got this company. They make little like trinkets and things that it's hard to explain if you're not into Star Wars, but point being,
Some Star Wars shit.
he's like,
They don't let me on their podcast because
They
I don't know anything about Star Wars. So.
is Star Wars the one with the little wizard boy? So he's like, you probably don't remember this, but I met you years ago at a Story of the Year show, and told me this whole story. In Detroit, he was there with his friend, and he had this necklace on, which is this little symbol right here.
Gotcha. I've seen that before.
I went to a Catholic high school, and this was from a retreat. Like, I'm not religious at all, but
Okay.
this retreat, like my friends that I was in a band with at the time, it was just like a good connecting trip for us, you know. So it's really relevant, you know, to our like young years. He had that necklace on because he had gone to a Catholic high school, and I was like, oh, did you know what that is? You done? He's like, yeah.
Oh, it's cool.
And we just kind of hung out. And I was like, you guys come hang out backstage, whatever. So I brought him and his friend backstage, all had beers, had no idea that they were like 18 years old, and I had just given children beer.
Oh, my God, dude.
But so he
I
tells
forgot
me
about that.
he tells me the story, and I was like, no fucking way. I think I remember that. Anyway, we got to be friends. He started another podcast, and I eventually brought him on. And he's become like the anchor of the whole thing. Because, we start touring again, and things get wild.
Yeah.
So he's kind of the anchor of the whole thing. And in the process, we started as just some band dudes who like Star Wars.
Yeah.
And it's since become this whole bigger thing where we're like very connected with the actual like Star Wars fan community. We know some
It's a big deal, man. Yeah.
actors. I mean, it's a whole culture of people.
Subculture, yeah.
And I've gotten to know some actors and makers who are directly involved in Star Wars. And my friend's wife, who we've become friends with for years, Chris from Hoobastank, the drummer, his wife played a character in one of the two of the prequels.
Really?
Yeah, just a little
Wow.
a little role. She worked there at ILM, like in the visual effects
That's cool,
office.
though, man. Yeah.
Got to be in it, and so through her, I've met some people, and Ryan met Ashley Eckstein, the voice of one of the biggest characters in animation, on a plane the day that our podcast dropped.
Wow.
They became friends. So all the fucking universe just came
Totally.
together, and there's this whole other thing.
It's
that's
so
come
big,
out of it.
man. It's such a whole big world, man.
Yeah, so I'm a part of this community as much as I'm part of like the music community.
It's probably all
And it's
connected
rad.
too in some way, obviously.
Yeah, and we're at this intersection, which is cool, where like our fans are, late 20s to late 30s ish, of our bands, which is the time that all those, the prequels came out.
Yeah.
Like Lucas made, the next 3 films. So there's this little intersection of like emo and punk fans and prequel kids. It's the same slice of people. So we ended up doing this thing at Star Wars Celebration, the big convention. We did an after party. It was like a Star Wars themed emo night
Sick.
at Chain Reaction in Anaheim.
Oh, wow.
Sold it out in 10 days.
Damn.
And then I didn't know it was going to be what it is.
Yeah.
I expected we just play some emo music because that's our shit, hang out and have a party. But it ended up being a full-blown emo night, and just like wall-to-wall kids with lightsabers, adult kids, with
That's
lightsabers in
incredible.
the air. And it was the sickest party I'd ever been to. So it became this whole other thing. It's called Mosh Eisley.
Nice.
Mos Eisley is a town in where Luke Skywalker is
Okay.
near, where he grows up. So we call it Mosh Eisley. Became this whole other ass thing.
Hey, you're out of the band, by the way.
It's some nerd shit. I love
It is.
it,
It's
dude.
deep nerd shit, but like people
love
connect
it.
to
You
it
can
so
do this
much.
full time. You're out of the band.
No, I love that.
People connect to it so much, so now we do these after parties like around like a convention. Like we did San Diego Comic Con last year.
That's
We're doing
cool.
this year. We did New York Comic Con. We're probably doing one after Star Wars Celebration in Japan next year. Like it's
huge.
It's a
man.
whole ass other thing on top of the podcast thing. So
You dress up like any characters ever? And who's your favorite character?
probably Princess Leia or Obi-Wan
That'd be
Kenobi.
sick.
Like go full Princess Leia with the robes. Yeah.
Everybody dresses up at these nights. It's crazy. Yeah.
But he does
Yeah.
too, yeah.
But dude, here's the sickest part. So we figured people would come in costume because they've been at the con all day, right? But people got so into the idea of this mashup, this like intersection of emo punk music and Star Wars, that people made these mashup costumes.
Oh, shit.
Like in universe, if they were like a punk kid in Star Wars, so like, cut off denim vest with patches all over it and fucking mohawks on stormtrooper helmets and shit.
It's
And
cool.
like
That's awesome, man.
and like patches that are like, the logo, like a Minor Threat logo that says, no, I'm sorry, it says Mythosaur. It's this fucking animal from Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? There's like shit, like there's
These
a
listeners are going to know. People are going to know.
Bad Rebellion.
There's so
with
many people who know
Bad
this shit.
Rebellion.
Bad
Wow.
Rebellion,
Rebellion,
with
that
the
one's
Rebellion
cool.
symbol
Yeah.
with the buster on it.
Respect.
So it's this whole ass thing that we didn't even plan. It just organically happened by people being fans, and
That's cool,
we've
man.
run with it. So
You celebrate May 4th?
yeah, best holiday of the year. Of course.
Do you know about Rancid being at George Lucas's ranch, recording an album there?
I heard about that. Yeah.
I think he had a bunch of the characters like there and stuff. I don't know.
Brandon told me a funny story.
It's kind of cool.
That is
man.
awesome. Yeah.
So Jet Lucas, George Lucas's son,
How old is he?
he's
Like 30s?
he's probably 30s by now.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
So he's a big fan of Rancid.
And so cool,
Took
man.
them on a private tour, a completely unsanctioned private tour.
Dude.
Like, dude, I got the keys. You want to go see the archives? So
Oh, shit.
Bruh.
Brandon
Brandon-
got to do that?
yeah, Brandon said
We're
they
good
just
friends with Brandon because he was in the Used back in the
course.
day, and
He's the
now,
best kid,
now he's in
man.
Rancid. But yeah.
Yeah.
got to go see just all this crazy shit that probably if George or any of the employees saw, they'd probably be like, "You probably shouldn't be in there."
Well, that's
You
my
know,
dad, so
but
that's
yeah.
cool. Wow, get the key to the
Nice.
city.
Yeah,
Can't take no photos or nothing probably either.
Yeah.
Just get in there. You can probably touch some things though.
yeah,
That's cool, man. Holy crap.
yeah.
I would love to love a movies like that.
I know.
And try to do something.
As much as I make fun of it, it is impressive the shit that they get to do. And
do you have a
it's
favorite
cool.
movie that you're obsessed with and it's changed your life
Not
in a way?
in that way, but I love the movie The Burbs with Tom Hanks.
Oh, wow. Okay. I've heard that a long time.
I
Dude.
don't know. That I always just say that's my favorite movie, but it's a classic.
Dude,
Yeah.
it holds up. It's a great comedy. You should watch it.
I like
I-
E.T. E.T. was one of my favorite movies growing
Yeah.
up.
Great movie.
Yeah,
Also, True Romance. Me and my wife have rings. We have
Yeah.
tattoos.
Yeah.
We dress up like it. That's like... But the other night we went to an event. Patricia
All
Arquette was
all
there.
Tarantino stuff is
Yeah.
amazing. Not that that's his movie, but yeah.
Saw Patricia Arquette the other night. She was like this far away from me, and I couldn't say nothing to her. It was with my wife. She's like our
Oh, yeah.
everything. Like I
Dude.
want to say you're so cool from the movie to her, and she was talking with my friends, and I was so shook. And Moon walked right past her. She's like, "I'm out of here. I want to say nothing to her."
You said nothing.
Then we saw her in the parking lot smoking a cigarette by herself. Like, oh my gosh, she's right there. We didn't say shit. I don't know why.
Oh,
man.
dude.
I met so many people. I don't know why I froze up on her just
Yeah.
because
Weird.
we love her.
That's
from
what I
this
said
movie.
with Milo from Descendants. I've said hi to him a few times, but I'm just like, there's certain people that you're scared. Like, what if you talk to her and she sucks, right?
Like don't want to meet your heroes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but Milo's not like that. He's
No.
incredible.
He's always.
And
been
I
great.
think
It's
she'd be
just-
cool too. I would just say something cool to her, show her a tattoo or something. But like, I don't know. It's just one movie that she did out of 100 fucking movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just impacted me and my wife so much. You
Yeah,
know, it's like it's
absolutely.
a character. But Star Wars is just like a phenomenon. It's a fucking it's everything, dude.
It's a whole
Yeah.
universe, literally.
How many Star Wars tats you got? You said
I don't know. I got a few. I got a Princess Leia that's done pretty badly. I got an R2D2 up here. I got some other shit.
I get some final questions with you guys. Each person, you have to go pee or anything. You guys good?
I'm good.
Okay.
Pee my pants.
Do you have any
That'd be
regrets?
Yeah, I've just been going.
You have any major regrets in your life, Dan?
Not really. No. No.
That's
I
good.
mean,
Wow.
anything bad that happens, it brings you where you are now.
Yeah,
so no.
I love how quick you were to answer
I had to
that
kind of
question.
think about it, but no, I don't
about
think
you,
can.
Mr.
I don't
Adam?
think you should. I don't think you should.
I have a bunch of regrets with our bad decisions we made. Stupid decisions that I would do differently.
That's what I meant to say.
For sure.
I
No.
love you guys with the band shit. It's so sick.
No, but
It's a good.
yes, I agree. But before you go on, but that's what brought us where we are. So it's like
That's true.
it's like
I'm less regretful than
I know
used
I've
to.
made dumb decisions. Yes.
Yeah, I'm less regretful than I used to be now that we've had this second chance.
One life, second chance.
Yeah. Turns out one life, two chance.
Yeah,
Uh,
you should
Yeah,
change your tat to
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Sick.
I'll
Scratch it.
just
out.
scratch it. Yeah.
Go ahead.
So it's like I always talk about how we being in this handful of bands that have like threaded the needle in terms of like making it long enough to take advantage of the resurgence when it comes back around.
Totally.
That's so lucky. So the fact that we have an opportunity to learn from those mistakes makes me less regretful. But in the darker times, I'm like, God, if we just would have done this, and this, fuck, it used to really fuck with me.
Damn.
But I'm better now. But I still stand by it. We made some dumbass decisions. It's like we would go out of the way to make the dumbest decision.
But it's not like a serious like, oh my God, regret. It's like
Yeah.
it's like, oh yeah, well we should have did that.
But it didn't
Obviously.
had no real effect on your career.
Like
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
mean, probably did,
At the
but
end
it
of the day.
doesn't matter, because
Yeah,
you can speculate all day long about what would have happened if you did other things. But
that's true.
there's a little bit of a death by 1,000 cuts kind of element in our many stupid little decisions.
Do you regret leaving the band?
No, because it gave me a ton of perspective.
Yeah.
Not only like perspective on the band, but like life perspective, having to go be a normal person and like dude, I worked at the fucking mall for 5 years.
You just
know what
said
I
that.
mean?
You just said that a few minutes ago. Even
7
during,
years.
even during the pandemic too.
Yeah, I mean, Apple was really good about the lockdown and like how to do the distancing thing and kept paying us the whole time, even when we were at home.
Did people recognize you with your job?
Here and there, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was weird. But
even
cool.
when we started touring again, he was still working there for a little bit.
Yeah, because the benefits were
I
crazy.
respect
Because we
that. I
hadn't
respect
we
that,
hadn't
man.
got back to like full time
Yeah,
yet again.
dude.
So
Yeah, dude. There's no benefits in retirement in this shit, man.
yeah,
No, that's the thing.
yeah,
People don't think about that stuff.
that
So-
is for sure.
You do it to the day you die. No pun intended. This
Yes.
is it. This is all you got. I'm saying it's like
Yeah.
there's no
Absolutely.
unless your wife has some good benefits. You know what I mean? Like she has insurance or
Yeah.
it's interesting. They got music cares and stuff like that, which helps people go to rehab and stuff. But I really feel like there should be something for artists. Some sort of retire. I don't know, man.
Dude, yeah, there's
It's interesting.
Yeah, my father-in-law the other day just
401k?
asked me that, like, how long do you think you're going to do that? And I was like, forever?
I don't know.
Have you heard the song?
Yeah, until
Come
the
on,
day I die.
Yeah, come on, man.
I can't even imagine not playing music. I don't know.
We're lifers. This is some life shit.
Yeah, yeah.
This is
Yeah.
it.
What's funny is
we would do it either way. You know,
we
Totally.
didn't used to think that. Like when we were young, we're like, man, can we really be jumping up and down and going fucking wild like this when we're 40? And here we are in our mid 40s.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine.
can you do it in your 50s?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But this brings me to a really good question because I know he doesn't, but you only wear Vans on stage?
Usually,
Bro,
yeah.
you're fucking.
I've had a lot of foot and
How about your back?
problems. It's mainly just my legs. Just as of the last few years, all of a sudden I'm like, I'm gonna have to switch it
As
up.
cool as it looks, as classic as it looks, as
I
cool
know.
as fucking old schools are, man. Jumping up and down that many years, man. I know that Josh James dealt with some shit from Stick to Your Guns with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
People were in Hocus on stage now, running shoot. I know you were like some shit on stage that's bouncy.
Yeah, but what's stupid is I twisted my ankle once, like tore some ligaments early on, 2003, doing some wild dumb shit.
You guys were going off, dude, back
Yeah,
then.
we would go.
You still go off.
We were so fucking wild back then that's
Almost
that's
synchronized
no
jumps,
surprise.
like wild shit
Yeah.
they would do. Yeah.
But nothing else all these years. And then finally on stage in like our biggest hometown show ever, I'm wearing athletic shoes, some like pretty good Adidas, but they were just a little bit old, a little bit stretched out, landed wrong and broke my foot mid-set.
Damn. That's
Never broken a bone in my life, and it was mid-set, our biggest fucking headlining show
Oh my
in
god,
St.
that's
Louis ever.
brutal. So what happened the rest of the set? You played the rest of the set, obviously.
I just thought I had just kind of heard
Rolled it or
and I
something,
just
yeah.
kept trying to jump, and it just kept getting worse.
I kept
and worse.
running over to you and being like, "What the fuck's wrong?" and like messing with you.
Yeah.
I figured he was just
Yeah.
like,
And after that, the hospital.
Well, we left, and because my wife, everybody, they were like, "Get up, what's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "No, it's fucked." And they're like, "You're fine." Next day, I woke up. It was huge. The whole foot was swollen up. Went to urgent care, and I was like, "Emma, it might be a hairline, whatever." The lady came in. She's like, "Well, definitely broke it," And I was like, "Fuck!" And it, imagine like the last bone, like a boxer's fracture in your hand, like that on your foot, and it just, all splintered and fucked up looking. It's not the kind of thing like they can do surgery, but it's overkill. So you basically just have to like stay off it.
Yeah, brutal.
So I played with a boot for like
we
the
were like
rest of the tour.
leaving for tour like the next day,
Yeah,
or it was in between.
It
was on tour with Yellow Card last summer. So yeah,
yeah.
No
So,
stopping. That's the thing, man.
just did it.
Who knows how good that thing healed? Who knows? You
Yeah.
was on stage with it still, and
Yeah.
so yeah, you were in
so
Vans still.
I need to switch up.
Even like some nice like Dr.
I have-
insoles or something.
Yeah, I have some extra insoles in them, but yeah, I'm realizing just recently, I'm like, this is
It's gonna be weird to see like wear like some Hoka dad shoes up on stage, but like if you still want to keep jumping for like.
Yeah, it's like either I just need to just stand there, not kick ass.
It's funny
or-
because a lot of people made fun of like the New York bands back in the day for wearing like Air Maxes and Air Max 90s, like these
Yeah.
bulky ass sneakers, but I see Sick of It All still fucking killing it.
Yeah.
Dudes are in
Dude,
their
yeah.
60s, dude.
fuck yeah.
That's the one. Like when we did Grows Rock we both did it.
Grows Rock
Right.
is sick. Rest in peace, Grows Rock. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
that was amazing.
incredible
Dude,
fucking
great
place.
festival.
I remember vividly. You guys, I forgot which of the massive stages you were on, but like the
We-
biggest H2O show I've ever seen,
We
right?
had crazy times there, man.
Yeah.
And I forgot what song you guys did.
we
but
played
It
like
was
right
what
after.
happened, and the whole crowd comes on stage. What happened?
Yeah, probably at the end. Yeah.
There's videos of that. It's
well, there was a moment where you did something. It was a
Uh-huh.
shorter song, and as soon as it was done, you go, "That was fucking crazy. Play that shit again."
Oh, it
You
was,
guys-
yeah,
it
yeah,
was,
yeah,
it
yeah.
was nothing to prove.
nothing to prove.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right. That
You
was
played
crazy.
it twice in a row,
Yeah.
and I was like, "This is the best day of my life." Like, I can't believe we're on this
Because
festival.
we played right after, right on a different stage. Like, because didn't we run over? We were like, we have to go over and watch H2O, and then we had to like run.
And then Sick of It All was directly before us. We headlined the whatever that other stage
Yep.
was. So instead of warming up in the dressing room, we watched Sick of It All. And that was the sickest hardcore show I've ever seen. It's like it just leveled up all day.
Yeah,
Just
Gross
get-
Rock was so cool, man.
Two
Great
circle
festival.
pits around the poles, it's just
Yeah.
like 20,000 people for Sick of It All. 20,000 people.
It's
I was
awesome.
like, what
yeah,
the
it was
fuck?
amazing.
And then I came off stage going, we can never do something that cool. We're fucked. Like, what are we going to play now that's going to make people that stoked? And then we proceeded to have the best show of our career.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Great festival.
Every band crushed at Gross Rock, dude.
It was crazy, dude.
I missed that. We did like 3 years in a row, and every time the same thing happened. Played that same tent with the no barricade. I love that.
Mhm.
I love that stage, man.
Yeah, we did 08 and 2010, I think. Both
Yeah.
of those.
But
Fucking
it was
awesome.
But it was that set watching those dudes, 15 years older than us or whatever,
Yeah.
just crushing. I was like, all right, we can do
Look
that.
at Barry Lyndon. They're in their 60s.
Yeah.
Close to it. Circle Jerks. 7 seconds.
It's amazing. Like that's the inspiration now. It's like
So your inspiration is to get some new shoes for stage, though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn you on to some like low key, like really good, like bouncy. It's a company called On. They make really good running shoes.
Okay.
Because Hokas are kind of wide. They're really dad.
Yeah.
They're too dad.
Yeah.
You know, you want to keep it all black, keep your look,
Yeah.
but also keep you back intact.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
I
Like,
have to.
Because you never seen the Ramones doing youth crew jumps because they were just wearing straight up Converse. they stood there and rocked out.
Yeah.
But like jumping up and down, we go so crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I'm kind of nervous too. I've been running and training and stuff. And this is our first tour in a year next week, and just to jump around and get on stage, have the right shoes and everything, and stretch, and it's so important, man.
Yeah, it's hard to get to in shape enough to play a show. You know, it's like because it's a different, not in shape enough, but you know, it's just a different energy level on stage.
Oh, 100%.
You can't run and just be like, that's perfect. You know,
No, you
Nothing
can't.
you can do in the gym is like being on stage.
No.
because you have the adrenaline going. It's just so much different on stage. But
Do you work out?
not really. I run a lot, or used to. I haven't.
yeah,
haven't
running-
been in the last couple of years, but because my
Running's
legs
so-
fucking always hurt anytime we
Because
play. So
That's because you
I
jump
get
on
home,
stage.
like the last 2 months, my heel's been all fucked up from touring, and I'm like, yep, you're right. You are definitely right.
What's annoying though is at the end of the tour, especially now we're doing shorter tours. You know, you get home after 3 weeks, and you're like, man, I'm in perfect shape now.
Yeah,
Ready to
by
go
the-
now.
by
now,
the end,
now
you're
that
good.
it's over.
Yeah.
So your stage shit's affecting your home running.
Yes.
You're gonna bring it back. You're gonna bring it back.
Yeah.
It's important. Health's super important. Sleep, all that shit on tour.
Yep.
That's the key for it. Do you do vocal warm ups too?
Yeah. I have a same warm up I've been doing for like 15,
Same.
16 years. Yeah. And it's not real hard. It's like 15 minutes, just kind of
Yep.
low stuff.
It's the Melissa Cross
Oh
thing.
yeah, Melissa Cross
But
stuff.
yeah,
It's
same
probably
thing.
all the same shit.
Same
Yeah.
shit. She just sent me a new MP3 yesterday because I had mine. It was only one I have is from Hazen Street days. It's on my old iPod.
Oh yeah, you're on the Zen of
Screaming and Zen. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
That's
yeah.
probably why I got it. It's probably because of
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used her. She's the best, dude.
Yep.
Freddie's on that and a bunch of like hardcore dudes,
Name
right?
of God. There's a
Yeah.
bunch of people
Yeah.
on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, sleep's important on tour for your voice,
Yeah,
rest, all that shit.
I'm a good sleeper. That's
I was gonna ask you, sleep good at home?
yeah, for the most part, yeah. I'm
go to
like
bed
I'm like
early
a
or late?
9. I'm like a 9-hour sleeper. I
That's
stay up
good.
late. I stay up late. But I'll sleep till 11 or 12.
Yeah,
Still.
past the wifey, she goes to bed early
yeah,
probably.
Yeah, she's more of the responsible deal with the kids in the morning.
And then
If I have to get up, I will.
Yeah,
but-
what's a day in the life kind of like for you at home when you're not on tour?
If the kids are in school, I'll just sleep in a little bit and get up and either work on music or do house stuff.
Yeah. Domestic?
I've been real lazy lately, actually.
Are you a handyman?
Because I've been redoing a lot of stuff at home. You know, just did a bathroom.
I can see you doing that. Doing
Everybody in our
construction
band's kind of like that.
shit. Okay.
We're all very hands-on. Like, we won't pay people to do shit. It's like, no, I could do it. I can
You
fucking
do electric shit and plumbing too, or just?
plumbing, I can. Yeah, I have. Electrical is a little scary.
Yeah,
I don't want to blow myself up, but
But I can see.
I have done it.
I can see you like on the roof and shit, working
I
and
do
shit.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
That's amazing. What about you? What is your day in the life like for you at home when you're not touring? You work out still?
No, I fucking wish I could get back into it. Like,
You guys are young, man. Come on, man.
yeah, I wish I could make myself like running. You know,
I hate it too, but once you get past the first mile and the shit kicks in,
I
I'm
love
listening
it.
to
but
something. I love and hate it. I love how I feel after.
Yeah.
That first additional leaving, oh, bro, I hate it too, dude.
Yeah.
But
It's
I
hard for me to
just-
get over the hump.
Yeah, that first 5 minutes, it's like, oh, what am I doing? I used to really, I've been a runner forever, but I haven't been doing it much, like I said, because my foot's been messed up. But I need to focus on.
Do you ever do a marathon?
No.
That's my goal for sure.
Yeah.
sure.
I like about 3 miles or so is usually my.
I just did my
go-to.
first 5K last week.
Yeah, I've done a
Ever.
few. I've done a few of those. Bon wants to do on our guitar tech because he, speaking of jumping on stage, he filled in for Adam. Our guitar tech filled in for him because he had to go home and he jumped like twice on stage and blew out his Achilles, like tore his Achilles.
First song.
And had to have
What shoes was he wearing? I'll find out.
He was wearing better shoes than,
Okay.
than Vans, but he had to have surgery and stuff. So now that it's healed, he wants to do a 5K, and I'm like, I'll do it with you. Let's do it.
Yeah, fucking A.
Yeah, I did last week. It was really sick. I did it. This Netflix comedy thing they did, and it was like Burt Kreischer and Jelly Roll Ramp.
Oh yeah,
Jelly Roll walked.
I saw them
He
post
walked
about
the
that.
whole thing. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
But I invited Travis to come, who started running the same time I was running, and ended up being the number one runner. Just left everybody in the dust. He was running like 7-minute miles, dude.
Damn.
Whoa.
And then, yeah, it was just crazy. And I just asked him to run tomorrow. I'm like, I don't want to run with this guy again. But he was just, hoodie on, holding a Zico, holding his phone, just took off, dude.
Damn.
It was pretty crazy.
That's impressive.
Yeah, he's a beast, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, health is truly important.
Yeah. For
What
sure.
about mental health? You guys do therapy at all? Or no? Or
No.
believe in therapy? Ever done therapy?
Off and on for years, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
You never been, Dan?
No.
I just started going recently. It's very interesting.
I'm not opposed, but I
Yeah.
just never got into it. Never needed to. I probably did need to, but
I feel like writing and doing what we do is very therapeutic too.
Yeah.
We're very lucky to have that sort of release,
Yeah.
But you never really you've been in therapy a bunch throughout your life?
Yeah, different therapists, and my wife and I have gone before, and I've got, like anybody, I've got all kinds of old shit. Like my dad died when I was pretty young. My mom
Same.
and I have had some kind of pretty brutal shit. I've been divorced. The ups and downs of the band, all that kind of shit.
Totally.
So it's really, really helpful. But it's also like important to find the right person.
Yes.
So, like you hear a lot of people saying, don't just go pick one and go and assume that that's the therapist for you,
I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, just, if it doesn't feel right, or you're curious if like someone else might work better, a different approach, try somebody else,
Yeah.
It's not like you sign a contract with a therapist.
No.
So, yeah, it's good if nothing else to like be challenged.
Yeah.
Have somebody kind of push back or like introduce a concept that might seem completely backwards.
I agree.
So.
But I'm right all the time. What do you mean?
So yeah, I would say do it. Anybody listening who's on the fence about it, do it.
Yeah, 100%. Dan, you were optimist or pessimist?
I think I'm an optimist. Even in our conversation, I'm like, well, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I know you were. This
I think
whole time.
I do that. I'm definitely pessimistic about certain things, but I think overall pretty optimistic.
You've always been like that? Pretty
Yeah.
positive person?
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely an asshole, and I'm pissed off about a lot of things a lot. But in my overall outlook, I think I am optimistic. Yes.
What about you, Adam?
My wife would say otherwise. She'd be
say
like,
you're
"No, you're
pessimist?
not fucking optimistic." No, I don't know.
I've been my whole life an optimist to a fault. Sometimes, but the past, I don't know, the past several years.
Oh, it's been a dark, crazy world, dude.
Yeah. So
It's been crazy.
I remember waking up one morning and like some terrible news about this country, and thinking like
every day there's something terrible.
Yeah.
And
I'm pretty good at blocking all that kind of shit
Me
out. And just being
too.
Like, look, it's fine, dude.
I know. Go ahead.
But I try, my whole life I've been like, I've always, like I'm a sci-fi tech nerd. Like I've always thought about like, maybe we'll get to live forever. Maybe we'll have some crazy life extension shit. That would be amazing. And I have people say like, why would you want to do that? That would suck. But I've always been like, yeah, I'd love to see what happens for the next 1,000 years,
Yeah.
And then one day, some shit went down, and I remember thinking, never mind. I don't think I want that anymore.
Yeah.
Not that I want to like bail right now, but like
no. I know what you're saying.
So it's more
planning on living for 1,000 years is kind of insane either way,
right?
Because
but you know what I'm saying, that
I know what you're saying.
thinking
though.
like philosophically,
But, yeah.
outlook wise,
Yeah.
But I think I'm a little more like I'm hopeful, but more realistic than I used to be. Like
Yeah.
Being in, we grew up like. None of us were in rich families. We all had kind of working class families, but we were pretty privileged in the sense that we didn't have like crazy hardship.
Yeah.
So I think we've had the privilege of being pretty optimistic.
Mm-hmm.
And, and you get older and you see more shit and you think like, all right, yeah, I can have hope for myself and for humanity and, my friends and family. But, a lot of shit's fucked up. You just got to be honest about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a weird, especially social media. I feel like it makes everything, magnifies it by 1,000,000 fucking %.
Absolutely.
Everything looks so bad in the world, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's an
I'll
interesting
definitely be
place.
angry about things and be like, this shit sucks, fuck, but overall, I'm like, fuck it, who cares? What am I gonna do about it?
Are you guys on social media heavy? Like on there a lot?
Not really. I mean,
Are you checking
we all
messages
have
and
the
stuff and checking
sometimes.
DMs and
Yeah, I'm not.
I'm terrible about it.
talking to people?
Yeah, I try to, but I'm so bad at it.
It's weird how normal that is to especially younger people, but like you didn't check your message, dude. And I'm like, where did you send me a message? I don't know. Why didn't you have my number? Text me.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Totally.
and so I've been trying to get better.
Yeah,
at
when
some
friends
of-
do that, it's like
some
just
of that,
text me.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's
it's hard.
interesting.
Yeah.
I'm way better at the Star Wars shit with my Star Wars podcast, social
Yeah.
media. I think mainly because, like you said, we didn't grow up with it. So
Yeah.
I'm like very self-conscious about what I post. And I always feel a little whack after I post something. I'm like, is that caption kind of fucking dorky? Is that picture kind of fucking dorky? And I'm very self-conscious about it. I don't like I got more followers from my Star Wars podcast than I have of myself
Wow.
in a platinum band. Just because I just like even I don't know. I feel fucking weird. I don't know how to describe it. I'm just
it's not for you.
I'm like insecure about it.
Yeah.
But the Star Wars stuff, it's something else. It's another universe that I'm just like talking about. You know what I
You
mean?
can express yourself through it and be creative through that. And it's
Yeah.
not just focusing on you. Yeah.
Yeah, our stuff's pretty much just business. It's like
Yeah.
we'll just post shit about what we're doing and what our
It's a necessary
new
evil
records
for
and,
sure,
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I don't post selfies every day or anything, you know.
Yeah. It could be dark on there too. It gets just a weird.
Yeah.
But I feel like during the pandemic and all that stuff, everything got with the president tweeting, just all that stuff was gnarly, dude.
Yeah.
Every single day,
Hate
nonstop on your phone, everything,
Yeah.
man.
Hey, doom scrolling.
Yeah, doom scrolling, and then it's the whole like, what are they called? Haters? No, what's it? Troll culture.
Trolls.
Yeah.
Troll culture, they call it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a whole different world, man.
And there's that thing with it's like a version of road rage where there's like the insulation of like being in a car next to a person yelling the gnarliest shit that you'd never say to him if you were standing there.
Yes.
Like you,
It's a great point.
Context of the internet, it's like that times 1,000.
Times
Yeah.
a
You know,
thousand.
But then face to
dude.
face, it's completely different. Yeah.
These people say nothing to your face in real life ever, man.
Yeah.
Ever. And sometimes if you write back to them and say, and call them out, oh my God, you responded. Oh my God, sorry. I just wanted, they want the
Yeah.
attention. That's what they want.
Yeah.
It's like, it's such a weird thing, man.
Yeah, especially like with the hate. Like I go through
Yeah.
this with the Star Wars shit, like just fucking haters, and I'm like, dude, all of this is fake. Like, why are you so mad? Why are you so mad? Like,
It's a movie.
like what? Like, someone posts like an actor posts about the new show, and they're like, this is fucking bullshit. This is garbage. Fucking Disney destroyed Star Wars. And I'm like, you're talking directly to that person, right? Like an actor who cares about their craft, who cares about their art.
True.
Like, who the fuck are you to go talk to this person like that?
Yeah.
Like, would you walk up to that person and say it to their face like that?
Never, dude.
Never.
Never.
And like all these people are looking for ultimately, like the only thing that makes sense to me is validation of the feelings they're feeling. They're angry about something. It doesn't live
Absolutely.
up.
It's nothing to do with you.
Yeah, it doesn't live up to like wherever this thing lives in their nostalgia, in their brain, in their heart. If like, a new episode of something, a new movie, a new album doesn't like hit them the right way, which is literally impossible. Like you can never recreate that feeling that you have stored in the back of your memory.
Never.
So like people don't know what to do with those feelings, so they just lash out with them.
Yeah.
So all they're looking for is validation. Like we'll post about something on the Star Wars shit, like a part that we loved about a new movie, and they're like, "This is bullshit. This is garbage." Like this is like somebody having a party to celebrate something, and you walking in the door and going, "All this shit sucks. Fuck you," and walking out.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's the equivalent of.
It's
Like
so
I just made a positive
That
post
would be
about
awesome.
something. Yeah. Like I had more respect for that.
Yeah, yeah.
Same.
Like that's what that's like. Like we're all
Yeah.
here having a good time. You had to come in and just fuck up the vibe.
Yeah.
I hate
Yeah.
that shit.
It's just crazy people have that much time in their hands to go and just shit on people all day.
Yeah, what's the point?
Just to like get, I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, we've been told by every person in our, mainly our producer and stuff, like to be more active on this kind of stuff,
Okay.
especially TikTok and stuff. But it's like,
I'm not on that shit.
it's like, man,
Mm-mm.
I don't see how it's really gonna. I mean, I don't know. Yeah,
Would
I
a
know-
huge
I know
it's
following
not
help?
worth
Yeah,
my.
but
It's not worth my investment to me personally
Yeah.
to really care that much about any of it.
And it's
so.
like, what is your goals from that? Do you
Yeah.
want to be a bigger band? Do you want to have another, like, what is TikTok really going to do? I feel like it's such a young, I don't know. I feel like I'm just.
I mean, I get that. Yeah, I could connect to new people and stuff. Which Story of the Year is on there, and we have posted things. But it's like, I'm not going to put my energy into that.
I mean, one thing that did happen, there was that Gym Class Hero song with the singer from Fall Out Boy on it.
mm-hmm.
And because of TikTok, it went gold, and everybody got plaques from it because
Yeah.
that song went crazy on TikTok. And
Yeah.
Gavin McCoy told me he got a plaque and stuff.
Yeah,
from
it
that.
it
It's
definitely
interesting.
can propel stuff.
straight marketing.
Crazy.
It's
yeah.
so crazy, but you have to know how to like maneuver that and the algorithms and all that stuff. And I feel like one thing's enough. Social, like an Instagram only, or just like a Twitter,
Yeah,
or just something.
I'd mainly just do Instagram.
Same, nothing else. Twitter's crazy too. Facebook's crazy.
If any of us were like genuinely into it and we're genuinely doing it because we wanted to, fine. That's one thing.
Totally.
But
Yeah,
to force
we have a lot
it,
of friends
like
who do it.
people see through that shit.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
like we're not gonna force
Just
it.
to blow up on there and stuff.
Yeah. And just now I also I'm not into I know it's like probably an age thing, but everything I flip to, it's another person either like lip syncing a quote from a movie or a song, just staring right at me. Like, I don't want to see your fucking face.
Yeah.
I'll put on a movie if I want to look at people's faces.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Last thing.
All
You have any top 5 bands or favorite bands or influences in your life? I know Descendants is one of them.
Yeah, Descendants is up there. I love the Bouncing Souls.
Wow, nice. Shout out to Bouncing Souls, New
Um,
Jersey.
H2O, obviously.
Thank you, bro.
I'm trying to think of somebody that's not just like the normal 90s, 80s, 90s punk
Oh,
rock
yeah.
stuff.
That's 3. It doesn't have to be punk. It could be anything else.
I know.
Doesn't
That's why I'm
matter.
trying to think of other things.
How about some hip hop? How about some?
Man, well, my favorite singer of all time, although I kind of mentioned this earlier, is Sebastian Bach from Skid Row.
Did not mention that earlier. That's freaking crazy. That's incredible.
I know it's very weird to most people don't
ill.
see the correlation between those two scenes, but when I first found music, it was in that late 80s scene, and I was a little kid, but I was like,
that's incredible.
But I just
dude.
loved it so much, and his voice is still just like
nobody's ever put him with the Bouncing Souls or anybody.
Yeah, I know. It makes no sense.
You know what's crazy? I heard that dude is like a gnarly cat. I saw him perform at the Forum for the tribute to what's the drummer from Foo Fighters that passed away?
Taylor Hawkins.
Yeah, rest in peace. I
Yeah.
went to that, and he was on stage singing. He was incredible, dude. His voice was perfect, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I've never met him, and that's another one I probably don't need
I
to
heard
meet
he's a
him.
badass.
Yeah, he seems cool. I have mutual friends who have met him, but I don't know what another one would be. I don't know.
Descendants, Sebastian Bach, H2O, Bouncing Souls.
I mean, Nirvana was one of my favorite bands of
Really?
all time, too. Yeah, I mean,
That's
that's what
awesome.
kind of got me into the whole...
It was your gateway to punk.
The gateway to punk. Yeah.
That's pretty cool,
I'll
too.
say that, too.
Yeah, because there were kids doing like moshing in that video. Kids wearing like hardcore shirts. I remember that. Plus Dave Grohl.
And Nirvana's a
came from-
weird one now because like younger kids now are like, Nirvana was whatever, dude. They sucked. And I'm like, but at the time, it was so important. And like, it's weird to see that they aren't respected the same way as it's just weird.
Really?
But that songwriting.
I have a lot of younger people.
I see so many people wearing their shirts.
I know, yeah, like really young people now are like finding them, but like
but did they get that shirt
people
from
in like
Kohl's?
Totally.
It's just weird. If you didn't kind of grow up in that exact time, I could see how stuff doesn't connect in the same way. But
that's pretty cool. Nirvana was that for you? That's awesome, man.
That was what really got me into like playing guitar and wanting to be in a band.
Yeah, because the grunge kind of wiped out Sebastian Bach's career a little bit.
That was like
rock stuff.
I went from being like, wow, that guy's fucking sick. I love his voice, and then being like, oh, I could probably be in a band though. Yeah, this is cool. So
that's cool. What about you, Adam?
Like all the ones I mentioned earlier, but Nirvana was formative for me as well. For a lot of the same reasons.
That's cool.
But it was what we did live through that transition where like we had the tail end of the 80s stuff.
Yeah.
And then like the early 90s metal, but then it was also Nirvana, Pearl Jam, and the other like grungy alternative stuff.
Which I loved later on, but I was too punk and hardcore back then. Like, what is this shit? Later on in life, I realized, I mean, I loved like, what's that? Temple of the Dog? Oh my God, Hunger Strike. Oh my God, incredible song.
It's amazing.
Soundgarden, all that stuff, dude.
Yeah.
See, you were a few years before, so you were already in the scenes. I was just finding it, and it was like, oh shit.
But I knew Grohl from Scream, who my brother's band played with a bunch. I knew him from DC.
Yep.
So that was cool to see him in that band. I was like, oh shit, I know that guy. But
yeah.
Crazy to be in Nirvana and to be Foo Fighters. That's a whole different
I know.
podcast.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
bro. Like the
living legend.
Dave Grohl is awesome. Yes,
living legend.
One life, two chances for him too.
2 chances.
Who else you got in there, Adam?
Outcast. Like
that's so sick.
They're just like further and further up. Like, Andre 3000's.
Did you like his new record?
I listened to it.
I love it, dude. I listened to my son. I love it, bro.
Like it's a good vibe, but I think the expectation when everyone heard that he was putting out an album, we thought it was going to be a hip hop.
But it's kind of punk rock to me. He just put his own shit out. He doesn't give a fuck.
And dude, anything that gets him to release music, I don't care. Like he's been sitting so long doing his own thing. We've all been waiting. So if this is the catalyst that eventually leads to more Outkast,
how many times did you listen to it? Keep it real.
4.
Okay, it's really
4?
nice. It's really nice on airplanes.
Yeah,
it's nice when you had a sauna.
Yeah,
it's so maybe fall asleep too.
Yeah,
it's I think it's beautiful, man.
Have you heard? I forgot what the producer was, but it was like a month after it came out. Had a beat, had 3-4 beats, and he just put it out on his social media. And Snoop got in the comments. It was like, "Yo, send me that beat." So like people are working with the stuff and like everyone wants the same thing.
Wow.
We all want Andre back in the hip hop.
Yeah.
So
that's sick.
Yeah, because
he's your top.
He's the greatest rapper of all time to me.
That's amazing.
And I passed him on the stairs once, met him for a split second.
Really?
Said what's up. That's all. It was like one of the greatest moments of my life.
Damn. He's a vegan. His favorite restaurant's 4 blocks from this house right now.
Dude, he's the best.
I heard he lives in Venice now.
Really?
I'm not gonna blow up a spot, but he's a dream podcast guest for sure. I tried making it happen. It was hard, but I tried to go to one of his shows. It sold out like in 5 seconds. And
dude, you could get Big Boy. He's around. He does shit.
Well, this guy will more connected through the vegan Illuminati. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So Outkast is in there. What else you got?
I mean, ultimately the Beatles are my favorite.
That's really cool.
But like this, I listen to I go through phases where I won't listen to hardly any music for a while, and then I'll a bunch of podcasts and I'll listen to nothing but music. So last year it was all like Propaganda and
that's cool.
And He Is Legend.
Okay.
Then a lot of Beatles. But recently, since I've been kind of like worn out on rock and punk and even hip hop and everything, a lot of movie scores and even classical shit.
Wow,
Like
that's cool.
classical shit that influenced composers. So ultimately,
really cool.
John Williams is probably my favorite musician of all time.
Okay.
94-year-old dude is my favorite musician.
That's
But
sick.
it's like there's just something like magical about being able to write music that affects people emotionally, subconsciously. Because like
sure.
a lot of scores need to fly under the radar so they don't distract from the visual, and the story. And in Star Wars, that score is
Back
like
to Star Wars.
is like a character.
He's obsessed.
Like
trust
it's
me.
just
I
like
respect it.
it's full blast. Like it's as present as anything else, but it never distracts you. And it's like the music is the force.
Yeah. I agree. And if
You know
I
what
hear
I
a
mean?
song from E.T., I'll get emotional. I'm not even joking.
There you go.
Any of the
John-
music from that movie was my childhood favorite.
Yeah.
I saw it for 40 times.
Yeah,
Every time I watch it, I hear that music. It just takes me back. It's really powerful.
yeah,
It's a good point, actually.
yeah. And it's we're in a different place with scores now. Like the Hans Zimmer era. It's more.
He did the Dune. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more like just ethereal, and it's like it's a soundscape more than like recognizable hooks and musical pieces. Like Williams writes fucking hooks right in the middle of a giant space battle. Like there's this hook in your head that you're not even thinking about, but it's somebody will hum it on a sidewalk and you just know it.
Would you want to score movies ever?
I don't have that kind of ability. There's no way. I would love to, but it's
Be a fan and appreciate it.
yeah, it's far beyond me.
It's like I would never rap, but I love hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to rhyme at 54 and shit. Kind of weird. Okay, what about one more thing? What about one more artist you listen to that people be surprised you listen to? That's like, damn, from the story that you listen to this? Something that's like...
Olivia Rodrigo.
For real?
Yeah, my daughter loves it. That's
awesome.
that's my daughter's favorite.
Okay, sick.
favorite.
We just watched her on SNL. She was great.
And
That's amazing.
And for some reason, I just really think her songs are awesome. So,
yeah, she's good.
I mean, there's a lot of the new young.
Have you
pop
been to
stuff.
her concert?
No, she came through St. Louis, but we were gone or something, and I couldn't go. But we were going to take my daughter if possible, but
Good pop
it didn't
songs.
work out. Yeah, I just think she's got a little bit of edge, and the songs are great. I think
That's
it's
sick.
cool.
Not Taylor Swift in your house?
My daughter doesn't like Taylor Swift for some
Okay,
reason.
all good, man. All good.
It's really weird. So
Not every girl in the world loves Taylor
I know.
Swift. Yeah.
You would think she would, but
I think I know your obscure stuff already. Or
I got a curveball if you want one.
what you got?
Kesha.
Sick.
I love Kesha.
I remember
Like,
Kesha. Yeah.
Love Kesha.
She's still making new music, right?
Yeah, she put out an album earlier this year. Just did a tour.
That's pretty
which I
random.
missed. It was like going the opposite direction of our tour, so I couldn't go. But she had that first single, I don't know, 15 years ago, whatever.
Yeah.
And was just like a fun pop party artist to me.
Yeah.
But as she kept putting out music, and I got to know it better, and especially this album Rainbow, which is like, I don't know, probably 10 years old now, post all the gnarly Dr. Luke sexual assault stuff.
Wow.
It's incredible. Like, she's an incredible musician, like a great writer. She wrote like half that album with her mom, who's like a folk writer.
That's cool. Wow. Where's she from?
I think she's from somewhere out here.
Okay.
But she was a writer before she was an artist.
I haven't heard that name in a while, man.
on a bunch of big shit, like wrote on Katy Perry and a
Oh,
bunch
wow.
of other stuff. So
I like Katy Perry.
she's great, and she's got an amazing voice that you don't hear behind the autotune and all the weird shit in the song like TikTok. But she's great.
All right, shout out to Kesha.
Yeah,
we nerded ourselves up.
Yeah.
At the end.
Well, thank you guys for being. This is awesome, man. We've been
Thank
talking
you.
about this for so
amazing.
long, dude.
Yeah,
Since the
yeah.
start of the podcast.
We've been trying to make it work for a little
trying to
while.
get you guys in LA. You guys never really come out here that
I
much.
know.
And then
We've been neglecting the West Coast a little bit, but
the
not on
last time we
purpose.
came, I got to sing with you guys. That was great.
Yeah, we didn't hit actual LA. We only did Anaheim, but yeah, it's good.
What's
that
next
we're-
for you guys coming up
we're
this year?
here. We got a bunch of touring coming up, a couple one-offs, and then we're out with the Used for a few weeks in the summer.
That's incredible.
Australia with Senses Fail.
Oh,
Right
yeah,
after
Senses
that,
Fail,
is
wow.
all of this announced? It is, right?
yeah.
it is now.
And then Europe with Yellow Card in November. So
Damn, the same bands all touring together
Yeah,
like
yeah.
from back in the day. That's awesome,
Yeah.
man. You've got something new coming out or something? Or no?
I think so. They just put out a new song today.
Song
I
today.
think.
Bird
Yeah.
looks amazing too, man.
Yeah, yeah.
He lives in Australia
He's
or
living
something.
in Australia. Yep. Yeah, we have the
Crazy,
same
bro.
management as them still, and
Still,
they're like our
wow.
big brother band, although they're younger than us. But we've been friends with them for 20 something years. So all of these guys, So
Yeah.
it's great to be able to tour with your friends still.
It's pretty amazing, man. Well, thank you guys for being here in my kitchen, and it's awesome
Thanks
hanging
for
out with you
having
guys
us.
talking and shit.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Thank you for fixing the microphone for me here later.
Pro podcaster.
Yeah, you are. Wish you guys had shorts. I think you guys getting the plunge in sauna right now, but you don't get cold. So
I'll stick my arm in it.
So, yeah,
It's kind of overcast and not that nice out there today.
Yeah,
But
it's been sunny. How long you guys out
actually,
for?
it looks sunny now. It was
It
kind
is
of
sunny
chilly
now, I
earlier.
think I'm definitely hit the sauna, man.
We're leaving Sunday, so just a couple more days.
So people can go to your social media, check your dates, all that stuff. That's your main thing.
Yep,
And
it's all out there.
Yep.
Story of the year.
At Story of the Year.
what about your
everywhere.
podcast? You guys have an Instagram too?
Yeah, Thank the Maker is the name of the podcast. So at Thank the Maker Pod,
Sick.
just on Instagram.
Okay.
No Twitter, actually, whatever that shit's called.
And when's
now.
that come out? Like once a week? What?
Yeah, every Thursday. So
Okay.
late Wednesday night, early Thursday.
On all platforms.
Yeah, we cover any new show
Is
that's
it
out.
audio and video?
Yeah, we stream on YouTube.
Okay.
And then I do like an audio edit because different formats. So I tighten
Okay.
it up for audio. But we've had like the past year and a half on YouTube, but then there's a whole other 100 episodes of back catalog on just audio.
Damn. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
I
thank you.
don't. I do YouTube out of necessity. I don't like it.
That's why I just do audio, and then my wife puts the audio on YouTube and whatever. I don't care. I don't like the filming stuff. People love not being filmed. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
more chill
Don't have to
vibes.
think about it.
I
Yeah.
know, dude.
Yeah.
We'd be sitting here trying to look all.
Yeah,
Pretty.
I mean, like going on podcasts that are being filmed. I've done a couple. I'm not doing them again, but I did some nice ones. But I'm just like done with it. The lights and shit. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Just chill in my kitchen, dude.
Yeah, it's not a fucking talk show.
We're just
It's
hanging
not.
out.
It's radio.
We're talking shit.
Just hanging.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Thanks for having us,
Yeah,
man.
bud.
I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
Peace, everybody. Bye. Here we are with Adam on the phone right now. Let's see what the levels are. What's up, Adam?
Check. Adam Russell from Missouri, unfortunately. Check. Sick.
Oh, your wavelength's really good. How are you, man?
I'm good.
I just saw you weren't on tour.
Yeah. So we had a bunch of shit booked this year.
Yeah.
And when we started back up, it was kind of like everyone was in a different place than they were when I left the band for a little bit. Everyone was ready to do a little bit less. And then we
Yeah.
got busy again. And then we got this offer for the used tour. And it's like we already had as much booked this year as we did last year. And we're going in the studio. And my wife's getting fucking knee surgery this week. And
Oh, wow.
there's just all this shit going on. So I basically did the first 4 shows. And then Jason from Senses Fail is filling in for the rest.
Perfect, man. Fam first, man.
Yeah.
So how many shows did you just do on that run so far?
I did the first 4 because we had a festival booked and then we had some like fill-in dates around it.
Yeah.
So I was already committed to that. So I didn't want to bail on that. So did those 4 and then came home. And Census Fail happened to be on the same festival that we were on the second to last day.
Perfect.
So it worked out anyway.
And
And now I'm home.
it's just U.S. festivals?
Yeah, it was Phase Fest, or one of the Phase Fests in I don't know where it was. Milwaukee, maybe.
So
yeah,
how
and
long
then,
are you off for now for you?
we have Australia in August, and we have like 2 festivals sometime in the meantime, or maybe after. Shit, I don't know. I'm really bad at this.
How long's Australia for?
I think altogether, like with traveling, because that's
Such
the
a
longest
mission,
flight ever.
dude.
Almost 2 weeks, but it's like 5 shows, like the standard, like Sydney, Melbourne,
Yeah.
Brisbane, Perth, Adelaide kind of thing.
Do you still love traveling?
I love going overseas for sure.
Yeah.
I love going to Southern California because I love it there.
Yeah.
But like, no offense to any of the small cities in St. Louis or any other city period in St. Louis, but it's like, or not in St. Louis, in the United States, but living in the Midwest, it's like anything surrounding St. Louis, I'm just like, okay, if I want to go to Cleveland, I can fucking drive to Cleveland. If I want to go to Omaha, we could drive to Omaha. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
Like, but it's, when you come up and you're playing those cities like 4 times a year, at some point it's just like, I don't care. I just want to be at home.
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to Europe, and we go to Europe on July 31st, but that's like for 9 shows. But like, I get anxiety just thinking about flying, just the travel and the jet lag, and just I had a rough time when I was just there in May, June, just to sleep, and I was just never caught up on my sleep, man. It was just, I don't know, it was hard, man.
Didn't you say you don't sleep well on planes or something?
I don't, man. I don't, and by the third show, I was just so exhausted, and Adam gave me this thing called a Unisom. It's like a sleeping pill, and I took it. I slept for like 13 hours, and the next day I woke up, felt amazing, dude. I just have a tough time sleeping over there, you know?
Yeah.
Do you sleep on
I
planes?
always have to do some. What's that?
Do you sleep on airplanes?
Not as well as I used to. I mean, I used to be able to sit down and fall asleep with the seat fully upright before we even took off.
Jesus, dude.
Because I was just one of those kind of kids, you know. I'd always fall asleep in the car back in the day. But now it's harder, you know, because I'm like in my mid 40s. It's hard. But I make sure to try to, like, if it's a really short flight, I don't even mess with trying to flip my schedule. Like, we went to the Philippines a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And I didn't even mess with it. I slept all during the day, all of us, whatever. We got up, played the show, stayed up till like 6 a.m., got on the flight, you know, just to not deal with the jet lag, you know, where we like basically stayed on like Central Time.
Yeah.
But if we're going to Australia or Japan or something for a while, I try to stay up as long as I can until basically nighttime of the destination.
Yeah.
So like if I'm getting on the plane and it's like 11 p.m. in Sydney or whatever, like, okay, I'll try to fall asleep then and eat a lot of food. You know, take a Xanax or something if I can, and really just like zonk out. But you know, it's hard on the back and all that shit.
I know. I feel like the first day, I was talking to Tim Barry the other day from Avail about this. Like the first day is like almost like walking zombie day. And like if you have a day off when you land, just trying to walk as much as you can all day and stay up as late as you can. Just finally crash.
Yes.
You know.
Absolutely. Dude, you know what's crazy is Dan will like sit in his seat and do nothing for like 12 hours. Like there are times when I've watched him not get up to pee, barely eat. He'll just kind of like he does this thing where he kind of like just like itches his chin or like lower lip, and he's just like watching something on TV or listening to his you know his phone, and he does nothing, just staring straight ahead.
Wow.
I don't get it.
Dude, that's crazy. Just staying awake the whole time, like just watching the movie and that shit right in your eyes. It's so brutal, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, just your eyes burning and like the bright screen in your face. It's so brutal.
Yeah, dude. And
we just like upgraded recently to like these premium economy, which is like, it's pretty cool. It was kind of expensive, but it wasn't business class or first class. And we had these bigger seats. We had this more, I had more, but nobody slept on the plane. I watched everybody, man. Regardless of how much room we had in the space, it just, I don't know, man. You gotta be like on some heavy shit or something.
Unless you can like fully lay down in business or first class, like no matter what, your fucking body's gonna hurt. You're not gonna sleep well. It just is what it is.
Yeah, man. What are you up to today?
Just doing domestic shit like yard work and stuff. Because we bought this house like 8 years ago and completely overhauled the inside and did it, 90% ourselves.
Yeah. And
just let the outside turn into a fucking trailer park. So we're finally like, I'm ripping out bushes and like trying to level a garden bed in the front and all this shit. So
that's cool. Is it hot out
domestic
there now?
Shit.
Yeah, it's hot out there now.
Dude, it's been so brutal. Today's pretty nice, but like we just Yellow Card was in town the other night. We went and it was outside like a amphitheater kind of thing, and it was like 93 degrees and like 80% humidity. It felt like fucking Indonesia, dude. It's been so terrible here.
Brutal, dude.
Yeah.
How was that show? Good show?
It was good. Yeah, but they're opening for Third Eye Blind.
Oh, wow.
Which is like huge for them. Definitely not my vibe. But like huge for them. So they played a lot more like mellow songs and some different stuff. So it was way different from when we tour with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Punk.
That's crazy. Yeah, the Third Eye Blind is back. That's wild.
Yeah.
So the one thing we forgot to talk about on the podcast, obviously, was veganism, and you've been vegan for vegan, right? Correct.
I've been
on and off. You veggie and vegan, back and forth, or?
I mean, like when I first switched in like 2002, I went just vegetarian because I always worked in food service. Like every job I had from the time I was 15 and a half, I can get a work permit, was food service. And at some point it just like ruined everything, grossed me out, and I'm glad it happened. I'm glad I had that experience.
Yeah.
So I just stopped eating meat strictly as like a taste thing. The whole vibe just became disgusting to me. And then months later, we were all of a sudden working with Feldy and then talking with
yeah.
him and talking with Sean Diener. Did you ever meet Sean Diener back in the day?
Maybe, yeah.
He worked at PETA for a while, and he's the dude. He did the he would say son of a gun, but his mouth would say bitch, son of a bitch. Did you ever meet this dude?
No.
It was the best trick ever. Like, you son of a gun, and it looked like a dubbed movie,
Wow.
Anyway.
I remember Feldy was vegan back then. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, being around that, and we couldn't eat meat in his house and everything. It all kind of worked out. And I remember talking to Sean, and I was like, I'm vegetarian. I understand, not killing animals, but I don't really get the dairy and eggs thing. And he's like, all right, let me show you some stuff.
Of course. And
he kind of just sat me down and talked through some things, and then showed me some videos and debunked all the usual, like, hand waving dismissive kind of things, like, oh, that's old, that doesn't really happen in the US. He's like, no, but it does, and here it is. And we ended up going to a factory farm at one point, and, like, sneaking in and, like, got some chickens out and stuff.
Oh,
and
wow, that's awesome.
What I saw in that farm was like a holocaust of animal abuse, and it was like a light switch for me.
Yeah.
So
seeing it first
21 years ago now.
That's amazing, man. It's cool. Like, it wasn't through music or really, maybe a little bit through that, but obviously just like working with it, dealing with it, and cooking it and all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, cause I worked, we all worked at pizza places, everybody in the band, but the one I worked at was more of like a local, pizza, wings, toasted ravioli. If you've ever, well, I guess you would have had that.
No.
Appetizers and all this different kind of shit. So I would be in like the sandwich and fryer section, just in the lunch rush, just like basket after basket of chicken wings. And by the end, some would fall out and shit, and it would just be this like burnt to a crisp bones and charred shit that looked like, a scene from a flashback in The Terminator.
Oh yeah.
And it was so sickening to me. And then I'd have to like cut the roast on the slicer, because we had roast beef, and it wasn't like an Arby's like basketball compressed looking piece of like processed meat. It was like a legit roast with blood and fat juice and all this shit.
Oh my God.
And it just became so disgusting. And this is coming from a perspective of a dude who grew up hunting and fishing.
I was going to ask you how you were a child, like, you eat a lot of meat growing up and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a ton of meat, and I was a deer hunter as a teenager with my dad, and went fishing and all this kind of stuff. Like, I still have the fondest memories of those trips with my family.
Yeah.
But ironically, maybe seemingly, the biggest like motivator, or what made it make the most sense in my brain, all came from what my dad taught me as a hunter and a fisherman, and like a Boy Scout and a Cub Scout, because he was very much like about, if he hadn't gotten into, like just being like an 80s salesman, in an office chain smoking cigarettes kind of guy, he would have, like, his dream was to be a forester.
Okay.
He loved the outdoors. He loved nature. He grew up a Boy Scout. So his thing was very much like respect nature, respect animals, very, very like Native American philosophy in a way. Indigenous peoples kind of philosophy.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's built into, Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts, all the gnarly shit aside.
Yeah.
So he taught me like hunting was like one shot, one kill, no suffering, respect what you're taking from the land kind of thing. And, despite being like, a conservative Republican type dude, he had like a very, what would seem like hippie kind of vibe about nature and hunting, so it's all those lessons. And I remember when I told him I was going vegetarian and then vegan, he's like, "Oh, man, I raised you to hunt and all this shit." And I was like, "Yeah, but everything you taught me about, everything I just told you, that to me, that informs this decision more than anything. Like, you taught me all these lessons of respect and conservation and all this stuff." And he's like, "Well, all right. That checks out."
He was cool about it. Yeah.
Yeah. never
cool.
gave me shit, never like tried to force me to eat meat. He respected the decision and where it was coming from, so we were good.
That's cool. I just found out that Ted Nugent's son is like a hardcore vegan, which is crazy.
No way.
Yeah, dude. That's
amazing.
Pretty good facts on that. Yeah, pretty wild, man. Is your wife vegetarian or vegan?
Yeah, she was vegetarian when we met. She's 7 years younger than me, so she, at the time was still like, when we first met and we became friends, she was still like, just like a struggling college student that couldn't afford to go to Whole Foods and buy like a $9 pack of Tofurkey or whatever,
True.
or like, whatever fake cheese, because it was all just so much more expensive. But she's always loved animals her whole life. And we actually connected a lot on that. And
that's cool.
I cooked for her like the first time that we ever had like a sort of date, and made her vegan tacos, and we were like so aligned on that, and we're such animal lovers, we're such dog lovers. It led to us being, it wasn't just like it's not like liking the same bands or the same sports teams. We're like so philosophically aligned and emotionally aligned in that sense.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason like I fell in love with her so much, is that compassionate part of her that it extended far beyond, she helped me see so many more things as well.
Yeah. I love that you said,
because initially you get that like angsty, like, like going straight edge, like saying fuck all that shit and having like
super
the pride
militant.
You get like that.
And you see the world different too. Like when you want everybody to see what you see, and you understand it. Yeah.
But she, while feeling like that still, like, being frustrated by the way the world is, the stuff I got from her was more just like the empathetic compassion, which I of course had, but she helped me take it to an even deeper level and helped me like think about even more nuanced little things. Like, even like throwing a piece of food out your window. I'm thinking in terms of litter, like it'll decompose. It's fine. I'll throw this like banana peel out.
Yeah.
And she's like, all right, but what happens if an animal runs out there, tries to get that banana peel and gets hit by a car?
Damn.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like shit that I just wouldn't think of. She has this like really, really deep intuitive sense of empathy. So
yeah. One thing you just said in that you were saying, you was like, we're dog lovers. That's the one thing it's always tripped me out when people they don't put two and two together and see about dogs and pigs and cows and like I love dogs. I rescue dogs, and then they drive to McDonald's after they rescue a dog. Like I feel like people don't see that they're all living things, and pigs are super smart animals, and it's just interesting how people that like wherever it came from, like in society or whatever, like dogs and cats are supposed to be pets, and everything else is supposed to eat. It's crazy, man.
It's compartmentalization. It's cognitive dissonance. It's it's pushing something down just to compartmentalize comfort and convenience and all these different kind of things.
Comfort and convenience, keywords. Yeah,
it's human psychology,
But now it's just like there's options everywhere. So I feel like it's pretty convenient for anybody to at least try it. You know what I mean? This stuff at McDonald's, burger, it's all that's the fake meats and just it's it's everywhere. It's like there's really no excuse not to try it or maybe think about it. It's just all about, you said, either like, obviously these people don't want to see it. Like that's why people don't want to see the videos. You show one person one of those videos, it's over, dude. Don't never eat it again. But nobody wants to see that. They don't want to see the reality of it, because once you see it, well, it's always like when people find out you don't eat it, they always like, oh, I really eat it. That people start like questioning themselves. They start looking into themselves. They're not threatened by people who are vegans, but they also like start like kind of feeling the guilt. Like, wow, maybe I should think about that, or maybe. But people just go on every day with their lives, and they think being vegan is super, super expensive, when in reality it's not. Beans, rice, quinoa, there's all kinds of stuff, nuts. It's everything you can eat. It's just, I don't know. I just feel like some of those documentaries should be played in schools. Like not the harsh ones, but there's so many incredible documentaries out that like are just like, wow, like people reversing like diabetes and heart disease and all that stuff just by changing their diet. It's pretty powerful,
Yeah, and it's the funny thing is, you don't even like, you can for sure be a junk food vegan.
Totally.
That's the thing.
Absolutely.
You know, and certain circumstances and financial circumstances
Correct.
are a huge part of that. Like when we first started touring, you know, we're in a van and trailer, and there was the Burger King veggie burger, but there was no Impossible Burger. There weren't all these other options. So for me, it was like salads, French fries, and a protein shake that I made with a hand blender in the van. You know what I mean? Like
Totally.
like one of those like immersion kind of, like, that was my fucking meal.
Yeah.
And I toughed it out. But like you're saying now, it's so easy.
Crazy.
And I know, people have picky eating habits, picky tastes.
Yeah.
You know, and if you don't grow up with parents like I did, you know, my dad, despite, again, teaching me to be a hunter and a fisherman and eating so much meat, he also taught me to eat everything on my plate and try everything, because he grew up pretty poor.
Mm-hmm.
His dad worked 2-3 jobs, railroad guy, that whole kind of thing. So like, it was eat every last bit of gristle off the bone, or you're not getting up from the table kind of thing.
Yeah, eat it all. Yeah.
Don't
waste.
Yeah, exactly. So I was forced to try kind of everything, and there were only a handful of things that I didn't like, but I still had that mentality of try it. You know, like I worked at Penn Station, the sandwich shop for a while, and at that point I had never eaten mushrooms. I was a little iffy on green peppers, but you know, people come in to get the Philly steak over and over, and I'm thinking, okay, well, what do they like about it? Maybe I should try it. So as a teenager, even, I would like force myself. I'm like, I'll chop them up really small and put it in there and try it. That carried over, and then I like, you know, mushrooms and green peppers, and then that carried over when I was vegan. Like, okay, now my options are limited. Let me just try everything.
Yeah.
And I think most people, I'm not trying to say I'm any better than anyone, but most people, they're just the complete opposite. Like, fuck that, I don't eat that. And there's like a pride in like not liking cilantro or not eating fruits and vegetables.
Yeah. I don't eat vegetables. Fuck that. Meat, potatoes, or just
Yeah. So, you know, there's all this psychological shit, and then there's the expectations that come along with it, and there's this like crazy visual sensory component. Like going back to my wife, she in high school, I think it was high school or junior high, did a science fair project on bias and perception.
Okay.
So she took like 3 or 4 different samples of pudding. They were all vanilla, but she colored each of them different with food coloring. Made one look like chocolate, one looked like banana, one looked like strawberry, and then one that was like green or something. And had people taste each one of them and then write down what the taste and experience was like.
Wow.
And lo and behold, the pink one, everyone said tasted like strawberries, and all these adjectives and descriptive things about it. The chocolate, everything, blah, blah, blah. And then she reveals at the end, they're all vanilla.
Damn, that's
so there's
incredible.
This huge psychological component.
Wow.
And expectations and built-in bias.
Already,
and, you know, so you tell someone that it's a, quote, fake burger, the chance of them not liking it just based on that, like, bias and priming 100%. Is so high.
And the word vegan too, it's become like the 4-letter word. Like it's too, because there's so many preachy and judgmental, and you know, there's a bunch of vegans out there that, you know, they represent veganism and animals in their own way, and I respect it. Everybody has their own way. Some people more militant than others. Some people out there like going to the fur factories and all that stuff, and I respect everybody's way that they, you know, represent and try to, you know, save animals. But there's some people that totally taken back by that, because if you're like judging and shoving shit down people's throats, they'd be like, fuck you, crazy vegan. You know what I mean? It's like,
right.
So that's why I like the Impossibles and how they were just at McDonald's and Burger King, so people can, like, it's the gateway to try, like, you know, good tasting vegan food. Because for me, when I first started being vegan, the hockey puck Boca burgers and all those crazy burgers back then was so hard. And I appreciate the new stuff as well, but for somebody just trying it for the first time, they want to try something that just reminds them of meat, or just reminds them of something that they're familiar with. So like, I respect all that stuff that it's out there. It may not be for me personally, because I don't eat gluten and all that shit, but like I'm so happy it exists, and I did eat it before I was gluten free, and I do appreciate it. And I don't know, I just think it's convenience, it's in what people can afford, or people think about, not getting enough protein or how expensive it is and just all that. It's just kind of the not knowing too, or not wanting to know, like, fuck that shit's fucking, those people are crazy, or
Right.
I love animals. I have a dog. I don't know. It's people don't really put two and two together, and someday they might come. I feel like people are way more conscious now, especially coming out of the
Yeah, for
pandemic,
sure.
of their health and the planet, what's connected to that, and what's causing these certain things. And I don't know, man. It's so you're the only vegan straight edge guy in Story of the Year?
Well, I haven't been straight edge for years, but
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But I was at the time that I went vegan, so I was full. I went full Ray Capo for a few years.
Nice.
And Dan was straight edge at the time too.
That's
and
right.
He was definitely also, if not sympathetic, definitely open to eating vegan food.
Yeah.
But he's like, I don't know, if I could go get like a vegan burger at McDonald's, I would do it, because he was super into McDonald's at the time.
That's right. Get the McDonald's tattoo. That's right.
But to your point about being militant, it works for some people and it's off-putting for other people. And
Totally.
I feel like it depends on where you are emotionally with it, how open you are in general, how threatened you might be by someone kind of pushing back against your worldview or whatever.
Yeah.
But I think that Feldy's strict no meat in the house policy at the time when we were making the album was great for me and kind of pushed everyone else away.
Gotcha.
So
interesting.
But Ryan especially, he's super into health and fitness. I mean, the dude, I don't know if I said this before, but he was on American Ninja Warrior and shit. Like,
so
he's
cool.
Like a next level rock climbing by 2 fingers, like doing 1,000 sit-ups kind of dude.
Yeah, he's in great shape.
It's crazy. So he's very conscious of things, and he's also always been a thinker. We've been, all of us, we've been, very philosophical dudes, always having deep conversations about shit. So he very much sees the animal welfare portion of it, but isn't like quite there. But generally eats a pretty limited amount of meat anyway, and will eat veggie burgers and stuff. If they're more of like a classic veggie burger, he's not into Impossibles and Beyonds and shit. But,
yep.
So
cool.
It's better than it used to be. I was definitely like the butt of every joke for years.
Damn.
Like throwing deli meat at me and shit.
Wow.
It was just always gnarly.
It's so you're the one that like kind of took it and really thought about it felt these strict rules. That's interesting. Tony Kanal was on the pod talking about going to Prince's house for the first time and going down to his diner and him saying, "What do you guys want?" And they all said burgers. Is like, not in this house. I don't serve meat in this house. And that was his first time hearing that, especially from somebody like Prince, who like he idolized.
Yeah.
And then that kind of, it didn't really hit him till later on, thinking back in that story. But yeah, the same kind of thing. No meat in my house. Kind of crazy, man. But later on, he became the one and only in the band who was and still is.
They were all like vegetarian. They all dabbled a little bit at some point, right?
Yeah.
The rest of the band.
Yeah,
but
sure.
He's the one that stuck with it.
Yeah, man. Crazy, man. I'm excited to get my platinum record, man.
Oh, dude, yes.
I have to make some room for it on my wall, but yeah, I'm really excited. It's so cool when people come to my house and do the podcast. I bring them into my little rock room, and they always say, like, "Oh my God, you sang on that!" Like, a lot of people don't even know. It's so cool, though. What a time,
dude. You have a hell of a collection.
Thank you, man.
It's good.
Well, I appreciate your time, and I'm excited to drop this episode. It was so cool. You guys came to my crib, and like I got to sing that song with you. I got to sing "Falling Down" with you guys like last year, I think. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And just our history together, and just having you guys in my house and getting to know you guys more, and just seeing you guys still out there playing, dude. It's so cool, man. It's like, it's awesome. And you guys are aging backwards as well, man. You guys all look exactly the same, dude. It's crazy, dude.
Thank you.
This shit keeps you young, man. Playing music and doing what you love. I really think it does, man.
It does, for sure. And if nothing else, being like a hardcore, post-hardcore punk band.
Yes.
The kind of like the bar we set for ourselves with the live show, as much as some days on stage I'm just like, oh my God, why do we do this to ourselves? At the same time, it forces me to stay in a little better shape. And
yeah, dude.
I took for granted for so long how in shape I was just by doing my job, you know?
Yeah, did you feel a difference during the pandemic when you weren't playing?
Oh God, yeah, 100%. And
Same.
I left the band for like 4 years, whatever.
Yeah.
And granted, I worked at Apple, so I was like at the store up on my feet all the time. So I didn't get sedentary. I didn't go to like a cubicle, but still, like, dude, I took for granted how much I worked out all the time just by going up on stage and playing songs.
Because you guys go off, dude. The cardio is insane, dude. Just like, yeah, dude, it's.
Yeah,
I think we already talked about it on this episode, like what shoes you wear on stage, like if you're wearing some better shoes for your back and shit.
For growing up watching you guys and Goldfinger and Sick of It All, and all the New York hardcore bands actually were like between them and all of you guys and like Poison,
Nice.
We had this like crazy high bar of what we wanted to be on stage. We used to watch. We'd watch like a Sick of It All video, and then we'd watch a Poison music video. Like I forgot what song it is. There's one where they have.
This is amazing.
Just ramps that they would like slide down and.
Yeah.
I forgot what song, but just doing like a somersault and jumping over the other dude, that kind of shit, like absurd stuff.
It's so good.
That's we felt like if we weren't doing that, no one was going to pay attention.
I love it. Yeah, man.
So,
and you guys still go off. You guys still love it and fucking.
We try.
No, it's cool. It's cool seeing the different generations still getting into all the bands that are still playing. Like different generations seeing our bands for the first time, like this late in the game is pretty awesome, dude. And the generations and just like, it's really cool, man, to be like still doing it and still talking about doing it. It's not something like we used to do. It's something that we are still doing. It's crazy. How old are you now?
44.
Yeah, I'm 54. It's crazy, bro.
Damn, I didn't realize.
Crazy.
A full 10 years older.
I just ran a 5K on Saturday. I'm running Travis's 5K this Saturday. Dude, so since you guys been on, my son got me a membership to Gold's Gym in Venice. So we go to the gym like 4 times a week. I'm fully into weights and back. I'm doing everything I've never done before. I never had a leg day in my entire life. I did a leg day last week. I was fucking dying because I have like Kermit the Frog legs. So like... Yeah. I'm loving the gym life, dude. I'm feeling stronger. I'm eating more. I'm not taking naps anymore. I have way more energy. It's great. I never had that before ever, dude. Because I was just a cardio guy, So like, I'm loving the gym. And Venice gym is like the most legendary. The people watching, the inspiration you get it's crazy, bro. It's a wild place, but I love it. And I go there. I do it with my son and his friends, and like I follow their lead, and I just do their shit and we leave. It's like you just go in and get out and just do your thing. So I never liked gyms, dude, ever. So. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I need to get back into it. Ryan and I, making the first couple albums, we went to the gym every morning before rehearsal, or not rehearsal, but like writing. We would go to his house. We built a studio in the basement, and we'd get together and write.
Yeah.
And we were so fucking obnoxious to Dan and Josh because we get up early, go to the gym, and we're all fucking amped up and full of energy. And they're just like sitting back in their chairs like, oh God, shut up. Just fucking play the next part. We're like, bro, what if we do this? Yo, check it out. Okay, so go double on that part, and then.
Was Dan ever a workout guy? He seems like
Dan's
a runner.
Always
maybe.
Runner. He's a runner. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah.
And Josh has been off and on. Kind of he'll try stuff, but he's been lifting a lot recently.
That's cool.
I don't know exactly what his thing is, but
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. You guys all live in the same area. You guys are still friends. You talk all the time. Like not many bands have that where they're friends off stage. It's pretty sad, but I pride myself in loving my band members. We're brothers. We talk all the time, and our group text, and just like hanging out once a week. Me and Adam trying to, and it's cool.
Yeah, there's something about like all coming from the same neighborhood or the same town. In our case, St. Louis isn't a big city, so it's not like like it is in LA or Southern California where there's so many bands. And it's such a huge, sprawling metro area that like a lot of bands end up just being like combined with whoever's the best, and they're not necessarily friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's much different for us. We were friends first. Each person kind of played whatever instrument worked.
Absolutely.
And it kind of remains that way. Like I wasn't a bass player when we started. I played guitar.
Wow.
But
yeah,
I said like, okay, I'll play bass.
Yeah, like Rusty never really played guitar, never sang, and my brother obviously had a band before me, and so like we just wanted to do something together, and it just worked. It's crazy how that shit happens. You just do it because you want to do it, make
Yeah.
music together. It's not like you're professional musicians. And then you become like legit, good at what you do, So it's like, I don't know, it's cool, man.
Yeah.
How many years Story of the Year now?
What's that?
How many years since the band started? Like, how many years is it now? The Story of the Year?
We became this lineup in 2000.
Oh yeah,
I guess.
Fuck, that's crazy.
But Ryan and Dan and Josh were in different bands together going back to like sophomore year of high school.
Yeah.
I started playing them, like I said before, around high school, 17, 18 years old. So
Crazy.
yeah, we've been this lineup. Phil joined like while we were making Page Avenue, and then even when I left, he filled in on bass. So we never had anyone outside of the original 4 or 5, and now we're back to our original, 25 years ago lineup.
So cool.
So,
I prided myself in keeping original lineup as long as we could, but my brother got the Osprey gig, which was really great for him. He tries to come in and out when he can, and then like it's me, Rusty and Adam, and now Max and Matt Henderson, which I love the lineup. And Matt, we just played since I saw you, we played the Palladium with Drain, Terror, Angel Dust, and it was an incredible show. Like 4,000 people at the Palladium. We had an incredible response. I didn't even know what to expect. I was super nervous because like we're the oldest band in the bill. It was amazing. Fucking Skiba came out, sang What Happened With Us. My friend Derek Sepultura came out and sang Freddie's part in Guilty. It was a great crowd. I'm really happy. So I feel like we're kind of
so sick.
Yeah, reborn with Max on drums. So it's been exciting. But
dude, that just like that thing right there, like having generational members, like bringing your son into your band.
Yeah,
it's like a hardcore version of I don't know, like what's
what's his face brought the band? Remember when I forgot the kids was playing the band with his dad. I forgot that is.
Well, Zeppelin's drummer's kid. What's his name?
I don't know, but I remember that too. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Also, seeing Taylor Hawkins' son come up and play with them was fucking so emo. Oh my god, dude, so sick.
Like my buddy Trev Lukather, whose dad, Steve Lukather and Toto. Trev.
Oh yeah.
Tours with them. He'll come out play guitar all the time.
Did you say Toto?
Yeah.
Oh my god, love Toto, dude. Oh my god, bro.
Dude, Trev, I'm surprised you don't know him.
Mm-mm.
He's a great dude.
I love Toto. Where are they based at? Where's Toto based out of?
I think they're all from LA. I mean, the singer is John Williams' son.
Dude. And Toto's still playing?
Yeah, dude. They do well in the US, but they crush overseas.
Oh,
like,
I'm
they're
sure.
still
I know.
massive in Japan and shit. So
God bless
like,
the rains. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
I gotta see them. I gotta see Toto. I have to see Billy Joel in my life. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh fuck! You just reminded me. Billy Joel's coming to St. Louis. I gotta get tickets.
Yeah, Billy Joel. I'm gonna go see Billy Joel and Sting in Vegas. I really want to go to that, dude.
Fuck, dude.
You ever seen Billy Joel before?
No, he's on my very short bucket list.
Did you hear the new song? His newest ballad?
No.
It's incredibly.
I think you told me about this.
Oh my god, you have to listen to it, dude.
I'm going to my phone right now.
If you don't cry, you have no feelings. Well, thank you for your time. This is sick. This is like our own little podcast. I'm adding this to the other podcast.
Yeah, man.
It's gonna be sick. You sound great. I appreciate your time. It was great hanging out with you guys. I'm glad we get to call and talk about your vegan life too. This is cool.
Yeah, man.
And hopefully
I appreciate it a lot.
Cool. And hopefully I'll see you sooner than later, man. Somewhere down
definitely.
the road. I don't know. You guys don't come to Cali that much, though.
We'll be back out there for writing before the end of the year for sure.
Okay, so we get a cold plunge sauna too. Finally.
Yeah, fucking A.
All right, bro. Well, thank you for your time, Adam, and have a great day, brother.
Thanks, bud. You too.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
I always ask my guests if they have any regrets. I personally don't have any regrets. Even when it comes to my tattoos, I have the silliest tattoos. Even my ET on my leg, it's still a childhood memory for me, and I love it. I've had tattoos on top of tattoos strictly because I wanted more tattoos. I started getting tattoos when I was 18. I'm 52 now, and I can't stop. I've had laser treatment before on something on my arm. It's 4 tattoos on top of each other. And that experience at that place was pretty fast. It was pretty cold. It was in and out, swiped the credit card. Don't really tell me much. Didn't give me much details or anything was going to happen. So I never went back. So as of most recently, I'm so lucky enough to have had 2 sessions at Removery Tattoo Removal. My tattoo on my arm that looks like a big black blob is now super light. I've had 2 sessions. I have a long road ahead of me. None of this stuff happens overnight. You cannot take a tattoo up in one sitting. You have to be patient. And it's painful. They ice you up. It's super fast. To me, it felt like a bunch of rubber bands. But what's more painful than that is looking at something on your body that you think you're stuck with for the rest of your life. That sucks. But now for me, I'm really happy I started this journey. I'm slowly going to get this tattoo removed. I never thought in a million years I have any kind of real estate on my arm. I don't even know what I want, but it's exciting. I'm so honored to announce that One Life One Chance podcast is now with Removery. I have a code. Use TobyH20 and get $100 off your first session. Call 866-934-4570 or go to removery.com. One of the most experienced tattoo removal companies in the world. Over 600,000 removal treatments done, 100 locations, US, Canada, and Australia. State-of-the-art peak-away laser technology, cryotechnology to reduce any discomfort. This is so exciting for me because all I do in these podcasts is talk about tattoos. From day one, if you've been listening to this podcast, we talk about tattoos, talk about getting removed, talk about getting covered up. So this is such a perfect fit for me. Once again, go to removery.com or call 866-934-4570. Use my code TobyH20 and get $100 off. These guys are located everywhere. Try it out.